friends! Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Aso, this is Aso Tarot, and in today's pick a card reading, we are going to be doing a reading specifically for starseeds. We are going to be asking, why did you come to Earth for this incarnation, and what is the purpose of you being here this time around? So you don't have to technically resonate with the starseed label for this to apply to you. I think we're all made of star stuff, so ultimately if you are drawn to one pile or multiple piles, that is absolutely okay. You might find that you are drawn to more than one pile because you might have more than one reason for being here. But I am also really excited about this reading because it is a collab with one of my favorite human beings on this planet, one of my favorite souls in existence, Miss Kino Tarot. I am sure plenty of you already know Kino, and if you do not, I am so excited to be able to introduce you to her today. So on her channel, she is going to be doing a starseed reading as well, and she is going to be looking at your soul origins as a starseed and seeing where you have been and where your soul maybe has spent a lot of time. So if you have not checked her out or checked her channel out, definitely go and do that either before this reading or after this reading so that you can get a full in-depth look at why you are here in this incarnation and where you have been before this incarnation. So we have 4 different piles of oracle cards to choose from today. Starting with pile 1, we have the first stack of oracle cards as well as this bismuth alien head. And then for pile 2, we have the second stack of oracle cards as well as this pink aura coated quartz cluster. That is a mouthful. And then for pile 3, we have this Larvikite alien head and the third stack of oracle cards. And then finally for pile 4, we have this 4th stack of oracle cards and this cluster of spirit quartz. So go ahead and pause the video if you need to decide which pile you feel most drawn to. Like I said, it is absolutely okay to be drawn to more than one pile. It is quite possible that you could be here for multiple reasons. So the most important thing is to just take what resonates here and don't let the rest take from you. But once you have picked your pile or piles, you can go ahead and scroll down to the description box or the comment section where I will have the timestamps for each group listed below. And once you've picked your pile or piles, I will see you in your reading. And I want to give a big thank you to Miss Kino for doing this reading with me and for collabing with me. It is always a joy to be able to collab with her, and I'm so excited to see how these 2 readings connect. So be sure to let me know down below what pile you pick over there and how it resonates and correlates. And I think that's all I have. So I will see you guys in your reading, and I can't wait to hear how this resonates. Bye! Hi there, pile 1. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the bismuth oh my gosh, the poor alien head. I feel like that is symbolic for your reading, but we'll talk about that. Let's go ahead and get your cards out first, and then we will talk about why you are here and what your purpose for being here is. So to start, we have Star Family. You are part of a team of souls. Call in support. We have Rite of Passage. We have the Wild Rose. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness. Untamed. We have the Sacred Mountain. We also have Flow, Release, Control, Divine Will, Oceanic Consciousness. We also have Self-Sacrifice, as well as Generosity. I'm gonna fix that a little bit. Finally, we have a new chapter, as well as the shadow. So I'm just gonna quickly look and make sure that everything is in the frame and you can see everything. So, okay, I definitely feel like with the alien head just coming out with a bang, I feel like this is definitely a, this is meant to be a, I don't want to say a bumpy ride this lifetime, but a bit of a chaotic ride. And I don't think that's actually a bad thing. I think actually you chose for this lifetime to kind of put more on your plate in the sense of healing a lot of things that you have been wanting to face and maybe didn't fully heal in past lifetimes. But I also feel like your motivation for coming to Earth was a lot around not only healing yourself, but helping heal the collective and shadow energies within the planet as well. Like, for example, trends within humanity that are darker. I feel like whatever you do with your life, whether that is one specific thing or if you change how you are contributing to humanity over time, I feel like you're always doing things that have kind of a win-win outcome, in the sense that you're not only helping yourself, but you are also helping other people. So I would not be shocked if in this lifetime you work with maybe underserved populations, or you work with people with, like, for example, mental health conditions, or if you do something that kind of addresses problems within society. Like, I could see activism in this pile. I could see anything related to justice, or anything related to helping people with addictions, or you know, you could also do things that help populations that are typically judged or scorned or ignored. I feel like you chose this lifetime to take on more challenges as a way to make future lifetimes easier on yourself. I feel like with this self-sacrifice card, I feel like this lifetime was almost the opportunity for you to kind of test out your spiritual chops a little bit. But I think the beautiful thing about you choosing to do this on Earth is you have the free will in terms of how much you choose to do or not do. Like, I feel like if things got too challenging for you, and let's say, for example, you take a really long break from serving others or service, like, that's absolutely okay, and it's not going to count against you in this lifetime. I feel like this lifetime for you is a lot about kind of rolling with the punches as they come, but I feel like your star family is coming in to tell you how much of a good job you're doing, and that I feel like you are a bit of a trailblazer within your star family. I feel like the work that you are doing in this lifetime is going to be repaid to you in future lifetimes. With this generosity card, I feel like this is a lifetime where you're essentially taking on more, so that your next incarnations will be easier and filled with less maybe tough lessons or tough experiences like the ones you may be taking on in this lifetime. It kind of reminds me of, like, in school, for example, when you take, like, for example, with your first couple years, maybe you take more credits or have, like, a really stacked schedule, so that, like, your junior and senior years you can take you don't have to take as many classes, or your schedule is lighter. It just almost seems like you are taking on a lot this lifetime so that you can take on less in other lifetimes. But I also feel like you are leaving behind a legacy of some kind, because I think the cool thing about what you're doing this lifetime is the way in which you go about your journey or your life is completely unique to you. And I feel like one of the reasons why you picked to come to Earth rather than somewhere else is because you had the free will to be very unique in how you went about your life purpose in this lifetime. And I also think that you specifically picked this period of time because there were a lot of opportunities with the technology that's becoming available for you to make a difference in ways that would not be possible 20 years ago, 40 years ago, or something like that. I also feel like with this Sacred Mountain card, one of the cool things that you're doing in this lifetime is gaining sacred knowledge. And this knowledge might not be things that you're aware of consciously, but it's soul wisdom that will stay with you forever. So in future incarnations, you're going to have this continuing wisdom from this incarnation. And when you're in those future incarnations, you may not know, oh, this wisdom came from this lifetime on Earth, but you'll have this deep knowledge from your life experiences this lifetime that will aid you in future lifetimes. And it'll be kind of this thing where you won't know why you know these things. You'll just know that you know them. I know that sounds a bit confusing, but I feel like this lifetime is a lot about learning to work with a free will dimension while also remaining true to what your soul is calling you to do, but feeling free enough to do it in your own way. I feel like you might find sometimes that you wish you maybe had more clear guidance or a more clear understanding of why you're here, or why you're meant to do certain things, or why you're healing certain things. And I feel like your star family specifically is a little bit careful with what information they reveal to you, because I do see that maybe one of the things you struggle with sometimes is your ego kind of getting in the way of the deeper beauty as to why you're here, or the importance of why you're here. Like, if you're hearing the message of you chose to take on more this lifetime so that you wouldn't have to take on more in future lifetimes, I feel like that might be something kind of frustrating for you, where you're like, ugh, well, I wish I hadn't done that, or you might get really frustrated with that notion. But I feel like it might be possible that that's something that your guides have kind of not really told you very much, because they didn't want you to kind of get frustrated or mad at yourself for choosing that. But I feel like with this shadow card being here, this is like kind of the final incarnation where you're dealing with a lot of these tough lessons. I especially feel like with this number 9 card, I feel like ultimately this lifetime is about service to yourself and service to the collective of humanity, so that you can not only heal yourself but heal others as well. I also think that part of your reason for being here is to show people that there's no one way to do things. There's no one way to heal something. There's no one way to accomplish something in this dimension. I feel like you're a very unique person, and you might be a little bit clumsy, or at times you might you give me like the vibes of like a typical sitcom character that's like kind of clumsy and a little bit like almost like comically clumsy, if that makes sense. But I feel like everything that you do always ends up coming together in a really beautiful way. And I feel like you're someone who's also chronically underestimated, but I actually think that works in your favor, because people are constantly blown away by what you're able to do. And I think it's really interesting that we have this image of an archway, because I really do think that this lifetime is a final lifetime for you in terms of learning tougher lessons or choosing to take on a lot. You're definitely not biting off more than you can chew, but I definitely think that you chose to learn a lot of lessons this lifetime and heal a lot in this lifetime, so that you could kind of enjoy the wisdom of your previous incarnations and future lifetimes, and also, you know, reap the benefits of doing that work earlier. I also feel like with this Sacred Mountain card, you might find that you're a more like spacey person, or you might have trouble grounding at times, and I feel like there is a purpose for that. I think that you are still really connected to your star essence, in the sense that you might be, you might have like a really rich imagination, or it might just be easy for you to kind of get lost in your own inner worlds. And I do think that that is a coping mechanism that you may have developed in order to kind of cope with the tougher challenges that you have in this lifetime. But I also think that your star family wants you to know that that is a source for great inspiration for you. And the fact that your imagination is not something to tear down or to act like is a problem. Obviously, you want to be grounded and be here and do the work that you're meant to do. But I feel like your guidance is also saying that you have a really rich imagination, and a lot of what you imagine about is actually more connected to your current life experiences than you realize. I feel like you might get guidance through your imagination. And I also think that your imagination could be a great source for you to get inspiration from. I think I already said that, but also to come up with solutions and come up with inventions or ideas that other people would never conceive of or think of. I definitely think you're a visionary. And I feel like this lifetime is a lot about recognizing that even though you might be really different from the people around you, you're not alone. You are always being supported. And it is because you are so different that that is like a gift. Your difference in perspective and your difference in just who you are and your soul essence is not something to be ashamed of. In fact, I think that you are meant to inspire others with how you do things and to show people that it's okay to stumble, it's okay to fall, it's okay to try and fail and try again and try again and try again. Not that you're gonna fail a bunch this lifetime, but I feel like you're someone who anytime you get knocked down, you will continue to get back up. Like, you are not someone that gives up. And I also think too, you may have chosen to take on soul lessons, or you may have chosen to take on healing, not just for yourself, but for your entire soul group. So I feel like you have access to a lot of divine support in the form of your star family. I actually think that there are a lot of star souls that are looking out for you and protecting you in this lifetime. And whenever you feel lonely or disconnected from them, I think they are asking you to kind of trust in that connection. And even if you can't see them, even if you can't feel them, know that they are there and that they love you so much and want you to know that the sacrifices that you have made on behalf of your entire star group is something not to take lightly, and to recognize that what you're doing in this lifetime is actually really incredible. And the choices that you made before you came into this incarnation, like the things you chose to learn, the things you chose to take on, are not things that you should beat yourself up for and be like, man, I was crazy, I can't believe I chose to do that. Because actually, you're going to be really happy with how this lifetime turns out, in the sense that in future incarnations things are going to be a lot easier for you, and you're also going to have a lot more soul wisdom, and navigating life wherever you choose to incarnate next, if you do choose to incarnate again, will be easier, and things like that. Which I know this, I keep talking a lot about future incarnations and not this present one, but I do think that this present incarnation is a lot about perseverance and a lot about facing shadows head on, facing the things that you're attached to. You know, this shadow card is really representative of the devil card in tarot, and I feel like this lifetime is a lot about letting go of attachments to things that no longer serve you, and also facing things that need to be healed head on so that you can move forward with a fresh slate and with more wisdom, and not be held back by things that are just not meant to be a part of your soul essence anymore. I also feel like with this flow card, a lot of what you're learning about is to kind of surrender and trust, even when you don't necessarily have evidence or assurance that everything will be okay. I feel like your guides are always reminding you that everything will be okay, but I do feel like there is this part of you where you may just get stuck in your linear mental mind and kind of just beat yourself up for things that you've done in the past, or beat yourself up for ways in which you feel like you should have done better or you could have done things differently. And I feel like your guidance is here to tell you that those mental patterns are one of the things that you're meant to heal in this lifetime. Because I think that you're very good at seeing what you do wrong or what you have failed at, but you're not very good at seeing what you do that's quote unquote right, or the beautiful aspects of your unique journey. Like, I feel like you massively underestimate just how unique you are and how incredible it is that you are able to take on so much and yet still come through with the same pure, loving heart that you've always had. I also feel like you might find that in this lifetime, like, your earlier experiences are more challenging and more troubling, and things get easier as time goes on. But I also think that this lifetime is definitely a rite of passage for you, where you're gonna be able to say, like, after this incarnation, like, listen, I have learned a lot, I have been through a lot, and I've come out on the other side, and you're gonna have so much wisdom. You're gonna be seeing things from such an evolved perspective, and honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if you end up becoming like a guide for other souls. Like, you might even be doing like blueprint type things where you are going through certain lifetimes and having certain experiences so that you can in turn guide younger souls when it's their turn to kind of go through similar experiences too. I also just think that you're meant to touch people in a way that helps them let go of certain beliefs or judgments that they may have about people that are different, about people that they may have shamed or judged or looked at as other. I feel like you are meant to bridge the gap between the light and the shadow and recognize that, and help others recognize as well as yourself that the shadow can't exist without the light, and vice versa, that we are complex, multidimensional people and souls, and we have different experiences that are beneficial. We have different experiences that are that seem like they are detrimental, but even within those challenging experiences, there are benefits to that as well. I really want to read this new chapter card. I don't know why I feel called to do that. I don't even have the book, but I do feel like there could be a message for you in there. So I'm gonna look. Oh geez, where is that? Well, I guess maybe I'm not. Where did it go? Oh, I see it. Okay, it's over here. All right, let's see what this new chapter card has for you, because I feel like there's a message I'm not getting that you need to know about. You're being nudged to move forward. Take that next step. A new adventure awaits. Inner change and transformation has been occurring within you. Your soul now yearns to take that next step, a leap of faith into the unknown. A new chapter awaits with new opportunities and adventures. Your heart has been nudging you forward for some time now, but the cautious mind has kept you at bay. Don't let the fears of the unknown hold you back in a place that offers no growth. More than anything, your soul longs to grow and evolve. Staying where you are does not give you room to soar to new heights of spiritual awareness and full consciousness. This part of the journey can be quite difficult, not only for you, but for those around you. Going through the process, honor your feelings and the feelings of those involved, but don't stay in this state of discontent. Honor this period, but move through it with courage, strength, and determination. Breathe deep and release all fears, doubts, and concerns. Follow your heart. Listen to your intuition and guidance. Believe in yourself. Don't trouble yourself with the opinions and expectations of others. This is your life, and you know what is truly best for you. Although you can't see it, your next chapter brings wondrous lessons for the growth that is needed for your soul. Be true to yourself always, and trust that spirit will guide your way. Take some time out and reflect on nature's wisdom to guide you through this period. Rest assured that smooth roads are ahead. Great Spirit, guide me through this transition and give me the courage to make choices that help my soul grow. So I definitely think that this is kind of like, I think that this talks about like this lifetime, but also lifetimes in the future. Like, I think that this is kind of like the start of something new for you. And so it seems like this lifetime is a lot about closing old cycles and old chapters so that you can start completely fresh and start on another level. I feel like this lifetime will be a lot about transitioning into this new level, and I feel like towards the end of your life, this lifetime, you're just gonna be one of those like sage people with a lot of wisdom, and I feel like you're gonna be so confident in yourself and your abilities, because it seems like everything that you go through this lifetime, even if it seems like you stumble, even if it seems like you take a wrong turn or you fumble or flop or whatever, you get back up, and the lessons that you get from those more challenging times are lessons that you will keep with you and carry with you wherever you end up going. And I also feel like even though you may feel at times like you're unsupported or like you don't know where you're going or why things are happening in certain ways, you'll realize that every move that you made was carefully supported by your star team and by the universe, in the sense that you're kind of like the leader. Like, you get to choose which steps you take, but your spiritual guidance is always in the background, making sure that they can clear the path as best as they can, and also help you stumble right where you want to be. Even if you say, for example, take a couple steps off the path, I feel like your guidance is also like making the most of those steps so that you can learn what you need to learn and get you back on the path and at the same time. I almost feel like there's no mistakes or there's no like fuck ups this lifetime. You might feel like there are, but it's really kind of this process of you're the leader. You get to choose the directions you go in, but your guidance is always going to make the most of the decisions that you choose to make and help you do as much as you possibly can to tie up these loose ends and also get you ready and help you learn things that are going to be beneficial to you in the future. I feel like this is definitely an important lifetime for you where there may be experiences that your conscious mind would not choose, but your soul definitely chose them in order to be able to help guide other souls that may go through the same things in the future, and also just help you gain more wisdom so that the future incarnations that you're in, these certain challenges will not be as impactful as they were this lifetime because you've already gone through them. And I also just keep hearing the fact that you are going to be compensated for the work that you've done this lifetime generously. And I also think that you're highly protected and your journey is highly protected this lifetime as well because you're doing a lot of sacred and important work. And I think that you're going to be getting a lot of enlightenment this lifetime, a lot of evolution. And I think that, yeah, this is definitely like soul boot camp for you, and I think you're passing with flying colors. Even if you feel like, you know what vibes you give me? You give me Cadet Kelly vibes. I don't know if you've ever seen Cadet Kelly, but it's a Hilary Duff movie, and I totally see you. Like I see there's a scene in that movie where she's making her bed and she has like a rainbow blanket, and you know she's at this like military school and she's this artsy girl, and you know she gets, you know, really, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but obviously, you know, Christy Carlson Romano's character is like not having it and is like really hard on her and things like that. But she never gives up her soul essence. She never gives up who she is. And she actually makes a lot of change within her military school because she refuses to let go of who she is fundamentally. And I feel like that's you. Like you're coming into this more challenging, shadowy environment and you're not letting go of your uniqueness or who you are. You're not letting go of the fact that, you know, you are you, and you're not going to let any external situation crush your spirit, crush your soul. You're going to persist and persevere and push through anyway, even if it's hard, even if you want to give up, and you might have to grow and you might have to change in ways that you wouldn't choose, but you're still not letting go of who you are. And I think that's just really beautiful. I really just want to commend this pile so much because I know that this lifetime may not be easy, and I know that there might be things that you really wish were different, or you just wish that things could be done, or that you wish you could go back and change things, but I promise you'll be really happy with how this incarnation turns out, and you should already just be really proud of yourself because it takes a big soul with big spiritual balls to choose what you're doing. And yeah, I just think you're really incredible, and your ingenuity is something that you should be really proud of. And I just really think you should have a lot of faith in yourself and a lot of confidence in who you are. And even if you don't, that's okay, because the evidence is going to speak for itself. The more you live, the more you follow your journey, the more you're going to see, wow, I can't believe I made it through that, or I can't believe I made this decision and somehow ended up here. I feel like there will be ample evidence, even if you could only see it in hindsight, that you are always going to succeed this lifetime, that you are always meant to be successful. And even if you may not understand how certain things turn out or why certain things had to happen a certain way, you will understand in the future. And I feel like you'll be really grateful and really happy that you trusted your own intuition and you trusted your own soul essence, even when everything else was telling you to trust something maybe more lower vibrational or to do the logical thing. I feel like you have such a strong soul essence to trust who you are and your purposes for being here. And I feel like that's something that you should just be really proud of, because it takes a strong soul to trust yourself over you know, the judgments and the logical opinions of other people. So I'm just going to go ahead now and get some channeled messages from your star family and see what they want you to know. Because I definitely think that you're a part of a larger like star group. And I think that you have a lot of souls looking out for you and protecting you. I also think that if you're not already, on clear nights when the stars are out and really pretty, definitely take some time to go stargazing or just kind of talk to your soul family. It might help you feel more connected to them. And I feel like whenever you are missing the stars, it might be nice to just kind of stargaze and remember that you're always connected to that part of yourself. So Pile 1's star family, what messages do you have for them? What do they need to know at this time that can be most beneficial for them moving forward on their path, please? Be, feel, receive abundance. All that you desire is achievable. Yeah, I definitely feel like you have the potential to do a lot this lifetime. I feel like you chose to take on a lot of, like I said earlier, you definitely chose to take on a lot of challenges this lifetime, but that doesn't mean you won't be supported through those challenges. And I feel like those challenges could reap significant abundance even within this lifetime. And I think part of the reason why you can like reap a lot of abundance this lifetime as well is because I feel like you are a generous person. And I feel like any service you do to this planet or any generosity that you have will be given back to you by the universe, like threefold, tenfold. So anything that you give, you will receive double, triple, quadruple. I don't know what tens are, but there's definitely a lot of blessings this lifetime despite the challenges. What else does Pile 1 star family? Let it out, let it flow. Open up the heart to feel. So we have that number 15 again. And so I feel like whenever you are really struggling, I think those are times when you may be more stuck in your head than in your heart. And I think that maybe part of your shadow is that you could possibly invalidate your own emotions or invalidate what you're going through. And I feel like your star family wants you to know specifically that, like, not everyone is wired the way that you are. You have kind of more unique configurations, and as a result, you may experience things more deeply or be more sensitive to things that other people wouldn't have the same issue with. So I feel like your guidance is really saying, don't beat yourself up for how you feel about something or how you experience something, because other people don't understand kind of the burdens that you've chosen to take on this lifetime, and they can't possibly understand what it is like to be in your experience. Like, I even feel like channeling your energy, I'm having a hard time like truly conveying just how strong of a soul you are and just how much you should commend yourself for all the work that you've been doing, because it is not easy to come into earth with like this amount of sensitivity and this amount of uniqueness. You know, obviously humans are social creatures, and it's nice to feel part of broader communities and like we belong and we're accepted. And I feel like you were specifically meant to stick out so that you could lead and guide others and show people that there is a different way to be. Like, you are someone, you're an excellent example of someone who is not meant to be comfortable suppressing their natural instincts and fitting in with the crowd. You are meant to be uncomfortable with conformity, because you are meant to stand out and show people that there are different ways of being than just the societally like normal expectations that most people have. Like, you are meant to transcend typical expectations and show people that there is no one way to do things, and that you can be yourself and still do amazing things. You don't have to conform to something else or suppress who you naturally are in order to be accepted. I feel like you're forging your own community and forging your own set of expectations and sets of like who you want to be. I feel like you get to set who you become this lifetime, and you get to really have a lot of say in who you become. And I feel like one of the hardest things, especially when you're younger, is just going to be able to believe in yourself, even when you don't have direct evidence of why it is so important to believe in yourself. But I feel like if anything, like your power of will is so strong, and I feel like the universe is totally on your side and really just supporting the person that you're becoming, even when you don't feel like you have material support or the support of your peers. Just know that there's tons of spiritual support constantly conspiring for your highest good, because your role this lifetime is so important. We also have, what does your heart want? Be free to manifest your heart's desires. And we have another 24, which I think is really interesting. So I definitely think that the shadows that you're addressing this lifetime are ones that are going to help you, like as you work through them, manifest what your heart truly wants. And I also think that, like, so I don't know if the numbers 24 and 15 could be significant. Well, I guess they both reduce to 6 in numerology, which is the number of unconditional love, abundance, things like that. So I feel like this is a lot about getting out of your head and into your heart and addressing any challenges internally and externally that might stop you from becoming your best self this lifetime and from living your heart's authentic truths. But let's get one more card, please, Spirit. Spend time on you, balance yourself. Yeah, so I definitely think Spirit is saying a lot of the, like, you might feel guilty sometimes for taking more time to yourself, or maybe, for example, needing more time in solitude than other people. And I feel like Spirit is saying here, like, you need more time for yourself because you already have like a sacrificial aspect of yourself, like in your nature, where I feel like you sacrificed a lot of maybe easier experiences in order to go through specific challenges in this lifetime and achieve more in one lifetime than, like, for example, spread out specific challenges into multiple lifetimes. And I feel like as a result, you have more specific needs than most humans do. And I feel like the universe is saying you're not selfish for kind of hermiting when you need to. You're not selfish for taking time to focus on you, and you have no reason to feel guilty. Although if you do feel guilty, that's okay. You don't need to beat yourself up for that. But I feel like your guides are really just trying to stress to you that other people will not understand your unique needs, and you don't need other people to understand them to validate them. The fact that it's a need that you recognize you have is just validation enough. And I feel like the universe is really saying, please don't feel like you need to sacrifice your needs in order to please others, because it is far more important that you take care of yourself so that you can continue to move forward on your journey and not get burnt out or beaten down by society or the challenges that society brings your way. So we're going to just shuffle this deck now and see what else your star family wants you to know. What else does pile 1 need to know? What does pile 1 star family want them to know? What guidance do you have? Courage. Live your life fearlessly with courage, strength, and determination. Yeah, I definitely think already, like, you should pat yourself on the back, because it takes a brave soul anyway to take on the challenges that you are. And yeah, I just think you're really incredible, pile 1. We also have choice. By staying conscious in your thoughts, you guide your journey in the direction of choice. What else? Strength. You are being guided by the cosmos. Stay strong. A positive outcome is assured. One more. Blue flame. Connect to the blue flame, which is the light of pure love within you. And on the back of the deck, yes, we have vision. Trust your ability to create the vision in your soul. So yes, I feel like you are definitely going to accomplish a lot this lifetime, and I think that you will, like, genuinely be shocked if you're younger right now. Like, I think that you may have a hard time trusting in the visions of your heart, but I feel like the most important thing you want to remind yourself is it'll be far better to look at, like, when you reach the end of your life, you don't want to ask what if. I feel like you want to remind yourself that you chose to undertake the lessons that you're going through this lifetime, and that you're more than equipped to deal with them. And not only that, like, you can trust in your heart's desires. You can trust in the dreams that you feel connected to. You can trust in the visions that you have, and you are strong enough and bold enough and courageous enough to go after them. And I think the worst thing that you could do to yourself is suppress them or put yourself down because you're afraid of what might happen, what might, I can't talk today. Keep following your dreams because you are more than capable of achieving them. Even though there might be some stumbles in the way, or, you know, you might feel really uncertain. I just feel like you have no idea, like, how capable you are. And I feel like this lifetime is a lot about taking risks and seeing just what you can do with this free will that you have and with this big, powerful soul of yours. And I feel like the universe is asking you to live this life with no regrets so that you don't look at the end of it and say, oh man, what if I had gone towards that? You know, I feel like it will be almost painful for you to try to conform to a lifestyle that you know doesn't fit for you. So don't try, because you're ultimately just taking a longer path towards your destiny. And I feel like the universe wants you to have the quickest and easiest route possible because you're already undertaking a lot. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this reading off with a card from the Lightworker Oracle. So Spirit, what do you want to finish pile 1 off with? What message would be most helpful for them? Okay, so we have Merkaba, spiritual protection. So actually, I'm going to move this over so you can actually look at it while I'm reading from the deck. Oh, there we go. Being open to receive is a way to gain empowerment, strength, and all manner of assistance. To enhance receptivity, it can be helpful to declutter and cleanse your energy field. This allows for that which is not rightfully yours to be shed. Sometimes this will include the disowned thoughts and feelings of others. When you release these thoughts and feelings, a spaciousness will grow within you. Then you can receive more of what is rightfully meant to be for you, your divine good in all ways. An open, sensitive person can easily become energetically overloaded. From physical pain and emotional and psychological tension, an overload does not feel good. You may even feel like you are carrying others on your back or in your head. The added weight can drag your naturally light vibration down into anguish, doubt, fear, or despair. Your inner vision, too, may be obscured by the overload. Oh, so this is a really good point as well. So if you feel like you are disconnected from your inner visions or your inner world, that might be a sign that there's a lot of that there are things within your energy field that need to be cleared, or that might be a sign that you're not in alignment with yourself. That can make it hard to discern what is yours and what belongs to another. Whether experiencing overload to your system is an unusual occurrence for you, or you have a tendency to absorb and process others' energies, common for healers, psychics, and mediums, artists, and other sensitive open people, you will benefit from a spiritual cleansing. Afterwards, you will feel less inclined to connect with particular people or work on certain ideas, even if they seemed very important before the cleanse. This means that you are freeing yourself from others' input and discerning the true priorities of your own heart. To accept a spiritual cleansing now, repeat the invocation below and then relax for as long as you need, with the Oracle card resting face down over any part of your body that you intuitively feel can use spiritual cleansing. Obviously, you don't have the Oracle card with you, but I mean, you can screenshot it. I mean, I'll just like bring it up here. Yeah, if you want to screenshot it, take that with you. You can repeat this process daily for 3 days or up to 3 weeks if you feel that you need it. Your rest can be for several minutes or up to a half hour or more. If you fall asleep during your cleansing, that can allow for even deeper clearing. Pay particular attention to what you sense immediately after your cleansing. It is a time when you may become very aware of just who or what has been draining you and be able to lovingly but firmly say, you must leave my energy field now and not return without my express verbal permission. Of my own free will, so be it. This oracle is also confirmation for those of you who have been questioning a relationship, person, or situation that has been draining you or transferring negative energies or thoughts into your energy field. Your insights are correct, and you can now use this energy clearing process to remove the cords of attachment and release any negative energy from that person or situation. And I'm going to put the invocation up here if you want to screenshot it, but I'm also just going to say it now. for you as well. So the invocation says, I call upon unconditionally loving divine protection. The sacred chamber of light, the Merkaba of divine light, is around me now. I choose of my own free will, under divine authority and grace, to release any and all connections, content, and contaminants that do not serve me through unconditional love. I choose of my own free will to take my life journey in the most joyful and loving way possible. I open to divine grace for the cleansing and protection of my integrity at all times. I am free to simply be in the truth of me. May all beings be blessed and protected. May all beings be happy and free. Through my own free will, so be it. So pile 1, that is where I'm going to leave this reading. Definitely please check out Kino's video as well as if you haven't, but that is where I'm going to leave it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background. That is one of the simplest and easiest ways to support me if you would like to show appreciation and gratitude for what I do. But there are other ways to support me. If you would like to, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how this reading resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already and click that notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. If you would like me to see your comments or anything like that, I would highly recommend you have notifications on, because I do most often respond to people when I first upload. You can check out a reading with an extended. You can check out my merch, which is linked down below, and you can also check out my social media, though do be aware that I have tons of scammers pretending to be me, so just know that I do not offer personal readings, and I will not try to solicit a personal reading from you in your DM. So if someone does that and is claiming to be me, that is a scammer. But that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope this reading resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the pink spiky guy, this is going to be your reading on why you came to Earth. So you guys got a couple of extra oracle cards, so bear with me as I figure out how to format these. But to start, we have Let Go. We have Master of Flames, which is the King of Wands. We have the Sun, joy, enjoyment, life force, success, vitality, play. We also have deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. We have sovereignty, as well as a horse riding messenger. We have initiation, deep trust, deep healing, reconnection with all. We have Arcturians, pure white light, DNA healing, sacred geometry. Sorry. We also have new consciousness with Earth and mirror reflection. So I actually think I'm gonna move these sideways. Let me just make sure everything is in the frame so you can see it. Okay. All right. Well, at least everything is in view, but let's go ahead and start. So pile 2, I definitely just want to say right off the bat, being on Earth is probably not easy for you, and it's probably something where you ask yourself, why did I come here? Why did I come here? And truthfully, I feel like the first thing that you need to know, and like what your star family wants you to know, is that it was your presence on this planet is such a gift to all of humanity and such a gift to Mother Earth. And I truly want you to know that all of the contributions that you are making here are not just benefiting a couple of people, it's genuinely benefiting the entire planet. And I feel like you are going to be rewarded greatly for the work that you do while you are on this planet. Your soul is definitely very old. And I love that all of this Arcturus energy has come out I definitely think that your soul has been responsible for setting up blueprints for civilizations. Like I said, I feel like you've been around for a very, very, very long time. And I think actually one of the biggest challenges about incarnating is you may actually have not incarnated for quite a long time. Like maybe being in a physical body is something that your soul is having a hard time adjusting to again. Or I feel like there's just a deep part of you that really yearns for what you see as home. But I literally, like, I just want to cry because it seems like this, you coming to Earth was a sacrifice you made out of love. And it was one where you kind of sacrificed the comfort and the bliss of being kind of in the spirit world in order to help elevate humanity, help evolve humanity's consciousness, and bring a beautiful message of love to the world. Like, I want to cry so badly, but like not because I'm sad, but because you are such a blessing, and I'm so grateful that you're here. Like, I'm so grateful that you're on this planet. And with this new consciousness and mirror reflection, it's actually interesting because in numerology, 54 would reduce to 9. So 999 could be a very important. Oh, and we have another 9 here with initiation. So I definitely think that this lifetime was almost like a sacrifice that you made out of love, but your soul and your spirit is going to be rewarded heavily for the work you do while you're here. And I think also, it was kind of written in your soul's plan for this lifetime that you will be rewarded heavily for the work that you do, whether it is through experiences, through material comfort. I think it's going to be a lot of things, but you're a beautiful, bright light and such a just a magical being. And the earth is so lucky to have you here. I feel like your biggest challenge this lifetime is learning to let go of what your soul knows to be the truth in order to acclimate enough to deal with being on earth this lifetime, if that makes sense. I feel like you have a hard time sometimes dealing with how harsh and cruel some aspects of the human experience can be, and also just how some humans can be. And I also feel like on a soul level, you might have experienced a lot of you've probably experienced a lack of support and a lot of confusion and uncertainty, especially when it comes to your upbringing, because it seems like humanity has not evolved enough to support the level of consciousness you're used to being nourished with. And by that, I mean, things like conditional love, things like it's a dog eat dog world, and survival consciousness. I feel like those are aspects of consciousness that do not resonate with you. And being raised in a human society where those things are taught, I feel like you probably experienced a deep wound where it seems like everything that you were being conditioned with did not match what you felt inside, and it probably felt like you were really misunderstood, probably unsupported, and you may have even been shamed for the way that you viewed the world. You may have been called too sensitive, or people may have said your head was in the clouds, or that you need to grow up and look at and join the real world or something like that. And I feel like the universe and your star guides really want you to know that a big reason why you're here is to not shun away who you truly are, not shun away the truth of your soul and the truth of your being in order to take on a more human idea of what life should be, but instead you are here to rewrite the narrative and let people know that the way things are is not the quote real world. It's actually just the world that many of us have come to accept. And I feel like your lack of willingness to accept the way things have been dealt to you, your lack of willingness to accept these teachings that don't resonate with your true being, are actually the things that you are fighting against, and helping others realize that they don't have to hold on to these outdated ways of thinking, these outdated ways of being. With this King of Wands energy here, I feel like you are deeply connected to spirit. We have a lot of fire energy here, especially with the sun. So you could have a lot of fire energy in your chart, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, but you certainly don't have to. I feel like you are here to help heal humanity and show humanity that life does not have to be so dark and so distorted and so unkind. I actually wanted to read a specific line from this Arcturians card that says, "The Arcturians transform fear into love, confusion into clarity, and help dissolve the ego into light. They transmit sacred light codes from the higher dimensions, which are also known as hyperspace. Their supramental energy is beyond the understanding of the human mind, but can be felt by the heart." So essentially, I feel like a lot of what you are doing is just that. I feel like you are being also assisted by a lot of star beings in order to help transmit this message of life and love. You might also find as well that you are highly empathic, or you could have been called, like, I think the term is like a Hoyoka empath. I feel like you serve as a mirror to everyone you experience, and I feel like you might have the experience of people kind of projecting whatever they think or feel onto you, even though it's not who you truly are. I think that you are someone who kind of is able to mirror back people's deepest wounds or insecurities, and so they might blame that on you, but in fact they are just seeing the aspects of themselves that they may not want to recognize. I feel like part of your biggest wound of being here is around just feeling like there's not, like, the consciousness that nourishes your soul does not exist when you're first growing up. And so it's almost like having to grow up in a level of consciousness that doesn't support your being, and slowly discovering the truth of who you are, and then being brave enough to share what you truly know with others. I feel like you're going to be initiating many people into a new paradigm of unconditional love and shedding the ego and showing people that you can live from a place of love, that you don't have to stoop to lower vibrational forms of consciousness, that you don't have to use your wounds as an excuse to harm others, that you don't have to perpetuate the narratives around fear, distrust, separation, things like that. With a horse riding messenger, you could be a channeler of some kind. You could use your skills of channeling higher consciousness in whatever you do. So for example, through writing, through artwork, through literally channeling as like a reader or a medium, or you could just do that in your everyday life through the people that you connect with. I feel like you are a really bright light, and I'm sure many people have told you that. And actually, I talked about this in one of my most recent readings, but the sun is obviously a star, and the sun doesn't stop shining just because people think it's too bright or are angry at how harsh the light is. So you might find that some people react somewhat negatively towards you, or almost are upset by your light. And I feel like Spirit is really saying that is not something that you need to shame yourself for or feel bad for. You know, they can put sunglasses on, they can put up some shades or something. You don't need to dim your light in order to make others feel more comfortable. In fact, I think you are meant to have this bright light to show others that you're meant to show your light to others and prove to others that you don't have to dim your light to fit in, that you can be a sovereign being and you can radiate this beautiful energy from the inside out, that you don't have to allow your environment to determine the type of person you'll be or the type of behavior you'll accept. I feel like you have this quintessential energy of just because something is normalized doesn't make it okay. And I feel like this beautiful sovereignty card really just goes to show you are an individual and you are a trailblazer, and someone who, rather than what's the right word? Rather than accepting the lowest common denominator, I feel like you are the person that is willing to rise up and say, no, I will not accept this. Like, no, I will not accept what other people are saying is the way life should be. I don't know why, but I'm getting the movie Radio Rebel. Oh my god, Disney Channel original movies are coming in today. I'm not sure quite why, but I do feel like you are someone who is here to rebel against common narratives around how life is and how things should be. I also feel like for a lot of you, you may have like significant relationships with people, whether platonic or romantic, around that are very unconditionally loving and really push the boundaries of what people think a relationship should or can look like. I feel like you're deeply connected to your spiritual guidance, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. The King of Wands is most connected to spirit. And I feel like you don't even really need to be consciously tapped in to your guides or to your soul essence, because it's just so much of who you are as a person. You can follow the inner nudges of your heart to lead you exactly where you need to go. I feel like you heal others just by being yourself, and you're meant to show others that even though not everyone may accept you for who you truly are, it's so worth it to be the person that you naturally are and to develop and grow the parts of you that need to be nourished and tended to, because it helps you become, just the most self-actualized version of yourself possible. And the more of yourself that you are, the more you attract like-minded individuals and inspire others to find their own light and shine as well. I can't stress enough how beautiful your light is. And I feel like for a lot of you, you may be more, some of you I feel like will grow into your charisma. Some of you may not be brave enough to be as charismatic as you could be quite yet. I do want to say that if you feel like you're socially awkward or something like that, socializing is a skill just like anything else. I used to be incredibly socially awkward, not saying that I'm not now, but I just push through it anyway. And in fact, you can learn to like socialize with people and become more confident in who you are. And I think that a lot of your earlier life will be characterized by feeling misunderstood, feeling like people don't get you, and you might really beat yourself up and be like, man, why can't I just be normal? Why can't I just fit in? And that's because you were never meant to fit in. You were never meant to be normal. You were meant to be this beautiful shining light. And unfortunately, when we're young, we're at the mercy of whoever is raising us or guiding us. And because you are such a guiding light and such a powerful light, other people are not going to know how to handle your energy because they haven't experienced your energy before. You are ahead of the curve and very unique, and your soul, it's not like, your freaking second grade teacher is going to be like, oh, you're a soul that's been around for a very long time. Like, they're just not going to know those things because you're here to transmit messages and light codes of consciousness that is yet to be widely accepted or understood. Like, you are a trailblazer, so nobody's going to be able to help you find the way because you are the way. And I feel like a lot of the life experiences that you go through in your early life will become powerful catalysts for healing. And I feel like you are going to be a light that helps others see the light within them, and the people that can't shine their light yet will use their light to find their way until they can recognize their own. Your role in humanity right now is so incredibly important. And I feel like even though you may struggle with doubt sometimes, you may beat yourself up and you may get really frustrated that, other people don't understand you, or that humanity can be really cruel, or that, everything seems to be going to shit. You still don't let go of your inner truth that at the end of the day, we all are in our purest essence love, and that love is the guiding force that is bringing us closer to our creators and bringing us closer to ourselves. And I just feel like you are healing yourself and using that as a blueprint to help others heal themselves as well. It's like you're not coming in here and laying claim to anything and saying like, I can heal you, I can fix you. You're saying, I am healing the things that I have. It's like you're coming in and you're experiencing these wounds just from being in a place where the consciousness that you have stored within your soul doesn't match what is happening in your external reality. And the wounds that come from being misunderstood, the wounds that come from being a young child that isn't able to be supported in the way that you could be best supported, you are basically learning through those early wounds, and then as you grow, learn and understand yourself, you're healing those things. But then on top of it, you are able to identify other people that have those wounds. You're able to identify other people that have a light that's not being nourished. It's literally like you're coming in as like a giant fireball that's being dimmed into this teeny tiny little candle, because the flame isn't being nourished, the flame isn't being held, the flame isn't being supported. And then once you are strong enough and you have enough inner firewood and inner understanding to recognize who you are and who you're becoming and why you're here, you're just going to get more powerful and more powerful and more powerful, and like nothing can stop you. Like the more you let go of the idea that you should be one certain way, that life is this one certain way, or that humanity is XYZ, the more you let go of all of the conditioning that you were subjected to, the conditioning that made you not like yourself, the conditioning that made you feel like there was something wrong with you, and embrace the fact that there's nothing wrong with how you were inherently designed. There's just a hell of a lot wrong with how humanity is conditioned and how we perceive things. You are just here to fucking change the game and let people know that the way things are now is not it. And in fact, that there are much better ways of relating. There are much better ways of connecting. And that, yeah, I feel like I can't do justice to just how incredible you are and how special your light is and how lucky humanity is to have you here. But I feel like you are, if you're not already, you're going to be changing lives, and you've definitely just changed the lives of the people in your immediate life. I feel like you may trigger a lot of people, and a lot of people who are really deeply rooted in egoic consciousness or are really attached to the ideas of their ego, they may not like you very much because you go directly against what they're investing in. But that doesn't matter. You are here to trust your soul essence and to enjoy the process of sharing light and love with the world. It may not always be fun, it may be work sometimes, but I think the results of sharing your life with the world will be a very positive experience for you. And I also feel like you're an inherently fun person. With this King of Wands, I feel like your inner child, once you're a developed adult, you're going to work really well with your inner child. Well, I guess it depends. You could already be a developed adult, but no matter what, like your adult self and your inner child are going to work really well together. And I feel like life is only going to get easier and easier for you as you get older, because you're going to understand more about how humanity is operating at this time, but you're also going to trust how your soul knows how to operate. And that trust in the way that your soul knows how to do things is going to help you not only prove so many people wrong and prove so many things to be just illusions of the mind, but also I think you're just going to genuinely enjoy being yourself and living as yourself and leading life through loving consciousness and leading from a place of light and love and joy, and helping other people let go of the illusions of their mind and the illusions of their ego that are making them feel like they are separate from everything else. I feel like you are initiating so many people into a more loving way of existing and recognizing that they are connected to all beings. They are connected to the earth, and that as humans, we're not that different from one another. And the more we can let go of the things that separate us from one another and embrace what makes us similar and what is true for all of us, I feel like you're just going to help people see that there are other ways of being, other ways of relating that do not involve hurting another to gain yourself, or shunning others to protect you. Like I feel like you're really helping people let go of the idea that they are separate from other beings, that they are that they must dominate or control or anything like that, rather than collaborate, communicate, and share. I feel like you are here to really elevate humanity, period, and to show people that there's so much thought behind each and every one of us. Like the creator, like there's so much divine perfection and human creation and so much power in humanity. And I feel like you're going to show people that humanity's power, when used for good and used from a place of love, is something so special and so much more powerful than using it from a place of ego, because I think you're also going to be showing a lot of people that ego and it comes from a place of disempowerment. And I feel like you're going to be really, really successful this lifetime, even if you don't see that right now. Like, the more you let go of the limitations of your mind and let go of the fear of being wrong or the fear of being shunned or misunderstood, you've already had that happen to you with peace and love. Like, I promise you, the more you share your light, the more you will realize that there are people that are craving your energy, craving your perspective, craving your essence, and that is going to help empower other people who are not brave enough to share what they feel in their heart. And those people are going to support you in your mission as well, because you're going to be supporting them. It'll be like mutually supportive. And I feel like you are just going to, as you get older, have more and more friends, soul family that you find and attract based on just the loving work that you do in this lifetime. And I just feel like you are really going to initiate a lot of humans into a more unconditionally loving consciousness. You're going to initiate a lot of humans into a realization that we need to be kind to others. We need to be kind to the earth. We need to be focused on love, not on separation, not on dominating others, not on disempowering others to empower ourselves. I feel like you're going to be showing people where their true power lies and helping other people heal physically and emotionally by healing yourself physically and emotionally and saying, hey, listen, if I can do it, you can too. I feel like you are just such a special soul, and your work here is so special, and you are an individual, and your individuality is something that you should not shun or be ashamed of, because it is something that is going to empower others to be their own unique selves as well. And I just think, yeah, you're a really incredible person, Pile 2, a really incredible soul. And anytime you feel like what you are doing doesn't matter, or that you are silly or foolish for trusting in what your soul is telling you, I just want to remind you that those are the fears of your mind getting in the way of the truth of your heart. Your heart space is leading you exactly where you need to go. And if you don't know it yet, you're going to do really big things, and you are going to change a lot of lives by just being yourself. And that's just such a magical thing. You are such a magical person. And I feel like your star family is so proud of you, and there are so many beings of unconditional love that are supporting you on your journey. And I feel like the biggest thing they just want you to know is to trust yourself and trust what you feel in your heart, because that is always going to lead you exactly where you need to end up. And I promise you, you have no idea how many beings you are touching and changing by just being yourself. It is a really magical thing and a really special thing, and you are just so special, Pile 2. So I'm going to go ahead now and get some channeled messages from your star family and see what they want you to know at this time. So, another message as well that I almost forgot to say is you might do a lot of powerful work with animals as well, and animals or the environment, and it might be part of your purpose to kind of help humans respect other forms of consciousness, even though it may not be like human consciousness. Like, I feel like you might do work with animal or earth activism around being kinder to animals, kinder to the earth, things like that as well. So if you're interested in anything like that, I would definitely look into that. But Pile 2's star family, soul family, what do you want Pile 2 to know at this time? We have 2 coming out so far. Be authentic. Your way is the only way for you. Yes, and I love that this is a number 11. I feel like the more authentic you are, the more you will attract authentic beings like you. I feel like the more you allow yourself to be yourself, the easier you'll naturally attract opportunities and soul family your way. But Spirit's really saying you can't conform into a way of being that doesn't support you. Like, the only way is by being you. We also have life is an expression of you. Life is more than existing. Yeah, and that's another one. So 111 could be another sign, like you could be seeing that a lot, or it could be a sign you're on the right path. 911 is like the angel number of the Lightworker, so that could be a significant angel number for you. But I feel like the universe is really saying, like, anytime you're doubting your gifts. Anytime you're doubting who you are and wondering if you should just stop with all the wee-woo stuff. Like, the only reason why, like, talking about this stuff is wee-woo-y is because it's just not normalized yet. And I feel like a lot of what you are meant to do is to show people that life is not meant to just be existing and living dully. I feel like you are meant to show people that life is worth living boldly and with fun and with joy and with vitality, and that as humans, like, we're not meant to just work and suffer and be angry and focused on the negatives. I feel like you are someone who, even through great suffering, is able to pull through messages of light and able to see the positive or the good even in our difficult experiences. And I feel like you are meant to inspire people of all ages to recognize that we never let go of our inner child. We never let go of we're never meant to let go of play. We're never meant to let go of joy. And if we believe that that is the case, then we are out of touch with our true selves. We're out of touch with our soul. What else would you like pile 2 to know? You are worthy. Aim for what you want and believe in yourself. Yes, absolutely. You're being so supported in that process too. Like, your guides just want you to know that, like, you are designed so perfectly and there is nothing wrong with who you are. Like, the most natural elements of yourself are the ones that are meant to be nurtured and shared. And we also have be clear on what you want. Put action to your goals and make them a reality. Yeah, I think you have no idea how high you can fly. And on the back of the deck, you are bright energy. Color uplifts you. So that might be a sign, like, maybe if you're feeling very uninspired by your surroundings or by maybe like your wardrobe or something like that, your guides might be encouraging you to add more color into your life and make things around you more colorful. Or even if you have an excuse, like, to design your surroundings, like, add more color, make it more interesting. You don't have to make things all minimalistic and just full of neutrals, because that's what a lot of people think is what's right. Like, do what feels right to you and trust yourself. But what other guidance does pile 2 need to hear at this time? Ascension. Your soul is evolving to higher states of consciousness. You are ready for this. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the earlier aspects of your life are going to be characterized by just letting go of the conditioning you were subjected to and allowing yourself to, like, shed elements of yourself to allow more of your soul light to come in. I feel like one of the most healing things for you is going to be remembering the truth of who you are and remembering the truth of your soul. It's going to be something so undeniable that it's like any machinations of the mind that keep you trapped in fear are just not going to be powerful enough to stop, like, the inner light. I feel like your light is literally going to singe and burn away any mental constructs that keep you stuck in fear or stuck in doubt. What else though, Spirit? We have patience. Be patient and allow destiny to unfold at its own pace. We have reflection. See all aspects of yourself through the reflection of the one who mirrors your hidden self. So for some of you, you could have, like, a divine mirror in this lifetime. You'll know if that resonates for you, but there's a lot about reflection here. So you could have a divine mirror in this lifetime through the form of a divine counterpart or a really close friend or something like that. But I also think that people will learn a lot through the reflection of you, and not everyone may react positively to that. Some people don't like what they see when they see their reflection in a mirror, and it's hard. It's a lot more difficult for many people to realize that humans can serve as mirrors, that we can serve as mirrors to one another. And I also think that when you get really frustrated with the elements of humanity that are darker or more cruel, it's important to, like, look at them and recognize that they are mirroring an aspect of the human experience to you. And it may be harder to understand or have compassion for those things, but that doesn't mean that we should write anyone off or see anyone as too far gone. You know, every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. But let's get one more. Inner worlds. Your external world is a reflection of your inner world. So I feel like the more your external world is a space that you feel comfortable and happy in, I feel like it's going to be a sign of how how aware you are of your inner self. Like if your outer world is not reflecting the truth of who you want to be, I feel like Spirit's saying there's a lot of growth and change coming your way. But on the back of the deck, we have dreams. The universe speaks to you through your dreams. You might even visit soul family or past lives in your dreams, or past places that you've been in your dreams. So if you have especially vivid dreams, I would pay attention, or maybe keep a dream journal. So because you might find that you get a lot of interesting messages, or you have experiences that may not make sense to your linear mind, but bring a lot of healing and growth to your soul, if that makes sense. But I'm going to go ahead and finish off this reading with a Lightworker message from the Lightworker Oracle. So Spirit, what guidance would you like to finish pile 2 off with, please? We have initiation by water. So this is the Lightworker. Oh my gosh, don't go in the candle. See, look, your light is so bright, you're almost setting my books on fire. Okay, let's see what initiation by water says. And this actually makes sense as well. If you're especially used to the fire element, you might find that like you're going to be balanced out by water energies in the near future. But let's go ahead and see. Your spiritual path this lifetime involves you becoming a clear channel for spirit. You are meant to communicate with higher guidance from the loving spiritual worlds. Your initiation by water will further open your receiving channels, dislodge lower vibrational material, and sensitize you to the subtle realms of light. You are being open to a world of which you may only have dreamed, such is its beauty, grace, and love. Situations have been arising in your world that evoke emotional reactions and challenge your opinions and beliefs. You may not feel in control. You may feel like your world, your own emotions, have become like a stormy sea in which you are tossed about, and you are doing your best not to drown in the chaos, yet you are not to fear it. It is stirring that which has been held within so it can be released. The storm will pass and the waters of your emotions shall become more serene. You could compare the process to a glass of water with muddy sediment at the bottom. The water appears clear as the mud is left to lie. Yet once that water gets stirred up, the mud rises. Then it can be filtered out and the water will be clearer than ever before. The turbulence was a step that led to greater clarity. The waters in the glass are comparable to your emotional waters, and the fixed opinions, beliefs, or long-held emotional patterns based on unresolved past pain are the sediment at the bottom of the glass. Hold the glass up to the light. Can the light shine through the sediment? No, but it can be seen through the clear water. Remove the sediment and the water will be clear enough to allow the light to shine through without obstruction or distortion. The light is the light of spirit, of higher truths, unconditional love, of peace, wisdom, and joy. You know that you are meant to be a channel for the truths of spirit. As an advanced soul, you are capable of successfully enduring the process of filtering out whatever would obstruct the clear flow of higher consciousness through your being. Perhaps tired of emotional swings, you have suppressed your emotions and believe you feel nothing, yet you are acting out unwanted behaviors or suffering from apparently random physical accidents or maladies, which is your subconscious way of expressing your hidden feelings. If this is the case, you are encouraged to be kind to yourself, to give yourself time to reflect upon your true feelings. Releasing emotional blockages doesn't have to be a drawn-out process. It is often the resistance and fear of feelings within that is more difficult than expressing the actual feeling underneath that resistance and finally letting it go. Whatever pain you are feeling right now is a sign of emotional healing and recovery. You are encouraged to accept and process your feelings, especially those that do not make much sense to you. Your emotional truths will make more sense as you heal. If you can get help from a healer, therapist, counselor, or mentor, they will support you and help you resolve your part of the process more swiftly. Know that even though it challenges you at times, this is a good thing that is taking place. It is necessary for you to more fully receive the divine connection for which you yearn. So I'm going to hold this invocation up if you'd like to screenshot it, but I'm also just going to say it on your behalf and on my behalf, because I can always use some more healing. And so if you want to hold on to the invocation for later, you can, but I figured I would just say it here since we're already here. I choose to lovingly, gratefully, and kindly let go of that which I no longer need to hold on to emotionally. Forgiveness is easy for me. I forgive myself and all others for our human mistakes. I choose to honor a mistake as a chance to learn and an opportunity from the divine to grow more loving. I ask for protection, assistance, merciful grace, and tender compassion to bless me through this initiation so that I may thrive in joy. May all those who are divinely destined to become clear channels for spiritual love be supported by unconditionally loving beings that can assist them to successfully move through initiation and shine the light of spirit through their hearts for the benefit of all beings. So be it. So pile 2, that is where I am going to leave your reading. Be sure to check out Kino's reading if you haven't, but that is all I have for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background while you do something else. That is one of the simplest and easiest ways to show me appreciation for what I do and support me in my channel. But if you would like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You could subscribe if you haven't already and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can also check out my merch as well as my social media, though do be aware that there are tons of scammers pretending to be me. So just know that I do not offer personal readings, and anyone sliding in your DMs offering you a personal reading claiming to be me is not me, it is a scammer. So I really hope this reading resonated, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, let me know how it resonated. But that's all I have for you guys, so thank you so much for watching and for being here. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 3. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Larvikite alien head, this is going to be your reading on why you came to Earth this incarnation. So I'm gonna put the alien head back on the screen once I have your cards all laid out. We have quite a few, so I just want to make sure they're all on camera, and then we will get into it. So to start, we have Strength. We have Rainbow Child, Unstoppable, New Earth Builder, Multi-Talented, Miraculous Alchemy. We have Compassion. We have Tears of Sadness. We have the Holy Grail, Stop the Endless Searching, Inner Quest. We have Shapeshifter, as well as Earth Pulsing, Pulse of the Mother, Slow Down, Time in Nature. We also have Change with Andromeda, and we have Primal Fear with Reptilian. Okay, just wanna make this look a little bit more pleasing. Okay, that's gonna have to be good enough. All right, Mr. Alien Head, I'm gonna put him right here. Okay, wow. So pile 3, I just have to start off by saying like how important it is that you're here, and I feel like you don't get enough credit for just how powerful you are and just how much you've been through. I feel like the reason why you came to Earth this time around was not because you had to, but because you wanted to. And you might be like, Aso, you must be on drugs, because there is no way in hell I would choose to be here. And you're right, your linear mind, your conscious mind would not choose to be here, but your soul definitely did. And I feel like it's because your soul saw what was happening on this planet and could not bear not helping humanity out of the pain that it is currently in. With this Primal Fear card, I feel like this is one of the main things you are here to heal. It is quite possible that at some point in time, your soul experienced some sort of reptilian consciousness, whether like incarnated with it or just experiencing it in some way, or it could have just been aware of the fact that fear and the concept of separation was and is something running through humanity at this time. And I feel like your soul just felt and heard the cries of humanity, that it needed help, and not just humanity, but Mother Earth, and the fact that the earth needed support, the souls on earth needed support, and I feel like your soul, I want to say your soul, chose to come here because it did not want to ignore the cries for help that it felt coming not only from the beings on earth, but from the earth itself as well. I feel like you might have definitely gone through a lot of challenging experiences growing up. I definitely feel like your sensitivity was something that a lot of people didn't understand. And I think that you may have looked for yourself in maybe all of the wrong places. Like for some of you, I feel like you may have, gone through the school of hard knocks, or really just had to fight for everything that you've gotten. I feel like things didn't come easily for you, and especially in this lifetime. And I feel like one of your biggest purposes this lifetime is to make the world a better place when you leave it than when you got here. And I think one of the kind of interesting things is that I think you actually have a lot of versatility in what you actually do here, because I think you are serving just by being here. Your compassion alone is such a gift, and your soul is so fierce, but in such a gentle way. There is a gentle fierceness to you that's quite beautiful. And you might resonate with the idea of being a rainbow child, or you might have a rainbow child either now or in the future. I feel specifically called to say that if you are currently pregnant with a child, you will know if that's your case. Obviously, I'm not saying that all of you are, but if you are currently pregnant with a child or know someone close to you that is pregnant with a child, they might be a very special child that helps you with this mission of being more compassionate towards humanity, helping the earth, and helping humanity alchemize all this fear, separation, darkness into light, into love, into growth, into connection. I actually want to read this compassion card because I think compassion is a huge part of your soul essence, and I always see compassion going hand in hand with the strength card in tarot, which this represents. And I just think this is a beautiful element of your soul. So we're going to read that. But I do think that your strength comes from not from trying to change things in a forceful way or trying to make people bend to your will. But I think that your strength actually comes from an adaptability to work with whatever's being given to you. And rather than to try and force things to be one certain way, I feel like you adapt to whatever is and make positive changes through being yourself, and also through working with other people, through compromise, through listening, through compassion. So let's look at that card really quickly. Love and compassion towards others starts with love and compassion towards self. Love and compassion is the sacred essence of all that is. It embraces us without condition or judgment and assists us to grow and evolve to higher states of conscious awareness. This card has come to you as a reminder that true compassion starts with you. Learn from your experiences, even the most challenging, and forgive yourself for the experiences that may have caused suffering. Carrying the weight of internal judgment only brings pain and suffering, but when you have compassion towards yourself, forgiveness expands towards others around you. Forgiving another can be the hardest test of all, especially when the hurt that they have inflicted has cut deep and buried the wounds and emotions, and the buried wounds and emotions resurface. It is natural to want to react with spite, bitterness, and rage. It is even more natural to want to put up walls of protection from further pain. But when walls surround one's heart, they halt the growth and ability to manifest a reality of choice. Dear one, if you have found yourself in this predicament, know that it is your time to react differently. Choose forgiveness, compassion, and love. Don't close your heart and build walls. This does not serve you. It takes you further away from your truth. Choose love. It is through love that others will come to see themselves with more light. This does not mean you should stay in a situation where you're being mistreated or where boundaries have been crossed. You can move away from a situation that does not serve your highest good with love and compassion still in your heart. The affirmation is, I am filled with thoughts of gratitude, compassion, forgiveness, and love. So one thing that I'm also getting from that is, for some of you, you may have been in a very dark state earlier in life. Like, you may have chosen not to awaken until a certain point. For some of you, I'm hearing it could be like during your first Saturn return or your second Saturn return. Like, you could have spent a lot of time in your life in a dark night of the soul, or in and having darker experiences. And I think your soul may have chosen this specifically so that you could have more compassion for humanity and more compassion for those that society has rejected, for those that society misunderstands, and for those that act in ways that are harmful because they do not know what compassion is. They act from a place of woundedness and from pain. And I feel like your transformation this lifetime will be one from a soul that is hurt and scared and afraid into one that is empowered and compassionate and forgiving and loving. And I feel like that's who you always truly were. But I feel like you may have chosen to incarnate with more challenge to show not only yourself, but the people around you and the other people that will come to know you, that you do not have to determine who you will be based on your experiences. I feel like against all odds, you will show people that you can go from the darkest depths to the brightest lights, and we don't have to let our past determine our future, and that we don't have to let the cruelty we experience be something that we pass on to others. I feel like you are a genuinely powerful person who has gone through things that other people can't even fathom. I feel like you are so strong, and I feel like you may get tired of hearing that, especially because you probably don't see that as a compliment. I'm sure you probably feel like, yeah, I kind of wish I wasn't this strong. I kind of wish I hadn't gone through this. But I feel like the one thing that you need to know is that you're entitled to feel however you need to feel about your life experiences, but know that the universe, that your guidance and humanity in general is so lucky to have you here. And the lessons that you are learning and the growth that you have had already and the growth that you will continue to have will not only benefit yourself, but benefit generations to come from you and benefit the people around you. It takes a truly powerful soul to be able to overcome what you have, to be able to alchemize the pain that you've experienced into healing and love. But I think what you are truly realizing is that your outer experiences never determined who you were. They were just mirroring to you the deep wounds and the deep pain that humanity has and the deep problems that humanity has. And I feel like your soul loved Earth and loved the beings on it so much that it was willing to go through heart-wrenching and challenging things in order to bring more light into the world, in order to bring more love into the world, and in order to make sure that the generations following you did not have to deal with the same earth that you did. I feel like the most magical things in your life will be found within you, not outside of you. And you might actually go on a deep quest. Like, you might be someone that is a bit nomadic or even travels for a very long time. And it might be through these traveling experiences that you realize what you were looking for was inside of you. Like, oh, of course. It makes me think of the book The Alchemist by Paulo. I don't know how to say his last name. I can't even remember how it's specifically spelled. But if you Google The Alchemist, you should be able to find it. Like, I feel like your life story is so quintessentially expressed in that book. Like, I feel like you are going to evolve so much as a person in this lifetime. But the thing is that the truth of who you really are is never going to change. Like, your true essence, like, I feel like even in your darkest moments and even during your darkest hours, you will make beautiful connections with people, and people will be inspired by you, even people that never tell you how inspired they are by you. Something is also coming in with like foster care. So I don't know if some of you have been in foster care or are like foster parents or foster families, but that's something that's coming in. It might be something that you do this lifetime, but I feel like you will genuinely touch the hearts of many people, and I think that you literally just make the world better by being in it. And I feel like one thing that the universe is really stressing to you is that There is no one goal that your soul is searching for. I think you do have a lot of freedom in terms of how you end up serving humanity. I feel like it's going to be something that you're inspired by, and I think based on what your upbringing is, you might end up doing something that serves a part of humanity that like maybe you needed growing up. Like for example, you know, if you were in the foster care system and you didn't have foster parents that treated you right, or you didn't have that experience of a loving, nurturing home, you know, you might in turn, as you get older, become that foster parent that you didn't have, or become that support that you didn't have. And oh man, I'm getting emotional now, and I just really want you to know that to make the sacrifice to be here in a physical body and serve and help the deeply wounded parts of humanity is such a beautiful gift. Like, you are such a beautiful gift, and the sacrifices that you've made and the things that you've given up to be here and to help others is just something so special. And you are so special, and never doubt for a minute that you aren't helping people or that you're not making a difference, because you absolutely are. You are making the world a better place by being you and by being compassionate and by helping others. I feel like with the Earth pulsing card, time and nature, slow down, I feel like one of the most special things that you're going to learn is that your rest is so important, and that being gentle with yourself and others is so important. I also feel like if you come to this earth and you're not very connected to earth energy, I think as you grow and evolve, you're really going to fall in love with the planet Earth in of itself. And I feel like you're going to find a lot of your most healing experiences out in nature, whether that's through hiking or moving out to a rural area or something like that. I feel like you are going to fall in love with nature in some way, and for a lot of you, maybe bring that share that love of nature with other people as well. I also feel like with the Shapeshifter card, you may go through a lot of evolutions in this lifetime, and how you serve may change as well. You might do tons of different things, but I think the core of what you are doing is bringing light to whatever your endeavors are leading you towards. And I feel like whatever you are doing, it is to genuinely improve whatever your focus is on. And I feel like you are just such a special soul and such a powerful soul. And like I said, your power doesn't come from forcing others to see things from your way or forcing people to look at things from your way. It's from showing people that you do not have to give in to forceful energies outside of you. You do not have to give in to fear. You do not have to give in to the illusions of the mind. And even if you do, you can still let go of them. And even if you do fall, and even if you do have dark times, that doesn't mean that the light times won't come. And it doesn't mean that when you are in dark times that you're any less deserving of love. I feel like you're a much needed soul, in the sense that your ability to hold compassion and hold space for people that have felt unloved, and not just people, but beings, animals, any life form that has felt unloved and unwanted. And I am even thinking of inanimate objects. Like, you might be someone that sees the value in something that someone else would just throw in the dumpster. Like, I feel like you genuinely have so much compassion and care for the rejected, the dejected, those that have felt unimportant or felt like they haven't mattered. I feel like you, when the time comes for you to leave this earth, I feel like you are going to be blown away by how much of a difference you have made just by being yourself and showing people kindness. It is the most special thing in the entire world, and I genuinely believe that you are just really, really fulfilling what you set out to do, which is make this world a better place. And never forget that you, more than anyone, well, not more than anyone, but of anyone, deserve the utmost love and compassion towards yourself. And you deserve to understand just how special your place in this world is. And I feel like the more you self-actualize and the more you understand yourself and what is truly meaningful to you, the easier it will feel to make a difference in the world. And honestly, I think sometimes you won't always see the difference that you make, because the difference that you make will be something that maybe people will come to you years later and be like, I should have told you this, but like when you said XYZ to me, it completely changed my life. Or when you went out of your way to help me, like I feel like you might genuinely save people's lives just by being there for them, or showing them that life is worth living, or that even though times may be dark, or you might be really bogged down by darkness or by fear, that you don't have to let it rule you. You don't have to let it be the thing that determines your experience. I feel like your most powerful message is that love is stronger than fear, and kindness is stronger than hate, and love will always win. And I feel like you also have a very special connection to your inner child and to children, especially children that haven't been treated very well. I feel like you could really make a positive difference and help children believe in themselves and recognize that they too can make a difference in the world. I feel like you understand completely what it is like to be torn down, to feel not worthy, to feel like a burden, or like you're not good enough. And I feel like you are gonna look all that bullshit in the face, see it for what it is, and tear down those illusions for other people so that they don't have to deal with the weight of the pain that comes from those illusions. And that is just a very powerful thing to be doing, and we are very lucky to have you here, Pile 3. Whew. So I'm going to go ahead now and pull some channeled messages from your star family and from your soul team, and just see what they want to say to you at this time. And as I pull that, you are worthy, which you are so worthy. But oh wow, I will say, I do think a lot of beings around you may take your beautiful light for granted at times, but I just want you to know how Spirit does not take you for granted. We are also so fucking lucky to have you here. I'm so grateful you're here, Pile 3. Literally, with this number 3, like you are changing the world by not giving in to lower vibrational energies, by not giving in to the illusions of the mind, and by not giving in to the darkness, but alchemizing the darkness into true gold, alchemizing it into truth that is loving and compassionate, and that helps other people out of darkness and despair. You are literally like a light that is reaching for others and bringing other people out of the darkness as well. Your soul might have also taken the Bodhisattva vow. I might be saying that wrong, but I think it's spelled Bodhisattva VOW. I could be wrong though. I'm not a spelling queen. But Pile 3's star family, spirit team, what would you like Pile 3 to know at this time? Oh, another message coming in as well is that I feel like part of the reason you're incarnating as well is to see the good in humanity, especially if you don't typically incarnate on Earth or with humans. You might be learning to love humanity and learning to love the earth and see the value in that, especially if you've kind of been more averse to humanity before. I feel like there's something about like hearing the cries of humanity and hearing the cries of the earth that really touched your soul and made you look past maybe the flaws that you saw here and say, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna help, even though there's a part of me that doesn't want to, and I know it may not be fun, but I think that's the true strength of your soul. You saw the challenges, you saw the difficult things going on down here, and you didn't allow that to stop you. You heard the cries and said those are worth nurturing, those are worth supporting, and I'm just really blown away. Thank you for being here, Pile 3, and thank you for not giving up. You make this world a better place, for sure. You are being called into service. Believe in your own guidance. Yeah, really trust yourself and trust. Like, I feel like no matter what you go into, you serve and make this world a better place. Like, by you just being here, that is a service. And by trusting in your own self, like, that is part of you trusting your guidance. But we also have let love be your guide. Live a life from love, guided by love. What else? Life is an expression of you. Life is more than existing. And I definitely think that that is something that you're going to teach a lot of people. I think a lot of people are stuck in fear and stuck in separation consciousness and stuck in this idea that life is just living and working and dying. I feel like by having the strength and the bravery to be yourself and to make a difference and to stand up and not accept what is and be a force for change, like you are showing people that life, like if you were a quote, you would be the change you want to see in the world. That is you, period. One more. Enjoy where you are, for soon you will be somewhere else. So I definitely think that life is asking you to not take things for granted and not wish away the experiences you're currently having. I also feel like with this Earth pulsing card that there's going to be a lot of value in staying present with where you are and finding the good in every life stage, because I feel like there's a part of you that may wish it away or just wish you were somewhere else or things were different, and then you might look back and be like, oh, I wish I would have appreciated that time of my life more. So I feel like the universe is saying, you know, make sure you take time to be present with yourself and be present with the gifts of well, I guess that's why the present is called the present, because it's a gift. And to just be present with the gifts of what now brings, because I definitely think that things will evolve a lot in your life, and I feel like the universe wants you to enjoy all parts of it, because there might be aspects that you don't appreciate until you look at things in hindsight. And on the back of the deck, we have you are here for a purpose, learning, realizing what matters to you. So now I'm going to pull some of these Starseed cards. So let's just see what else your spiritual team and your star family want you to know. We have observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. Even your observations are very powerful, because you see things in ways that typical humans don't. And I feel like even you just pointing out things like cruelty shouldn't be normal, or just because we don't understand the way that someone is viewing something doesn't mean that it's wrong, or like I feel like even just your observations are very powerful. So trust in what you perceive, even though other people haven't, it's because other people haven't made those observations that it's important for you to speak them. You'd be surprised how many people will support you. Let's see. We also have freedom. Follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. We also have truth. See your light, know your power, have the courage to walk your truth. And we have channel. You are a channel through which healing energy reaches the world. Absolutely. And on the back of the deck, we have creation. Being creative is a wonderful way of witnessing the unfolding of your limitless creative soul. So I am going to go ahead and finish this reading off with a guidance card from the Lightworker Oracle that I will read for you guys. So for pile 3 spirit, what guidance does pile 3 need to hear at this time that can be most beneficial for them? We have Ascension, the Rainbow Bridge. So let's read that. And okay, so rainbows are definitely significant for you guys. Here it is. You have been growing spiritually and your consciousness is expanding. It is transforming your experience of the material world from something you must control or conquer into a living expression of the radiant divine. As your appreciation and love for the material world becomes more unconditional, so too does the light that can flow into your aura, chakras, and physical body. As you psychically expand, you may need more rest, healing, and meditation than usual to integrate the increasing degree of light and the consciousness that awakens within you. That was another thing I wanted to mention with this earth pulsing, is that at times you may feel like life slows down a lot, but I think that's literally so that you can integrate more light and more energy and ascend. The Rainbow Bridge is a term for the channel of light that moves through your chakra system and along your spine, allowing spirit to enter your body and stimulate the development of your soul. This bridge comes to life as your consciousness is raised. It draws in higher energies that nourish and awaken your body, mind, and soul through your chakra system. As your chakras become stimulated by the increasing influx of spiritual light, a clearing process begins which supports the consequent expansion of your consciousness. This clearing is like a spiritual detoxification. It clears blocks from your mind, emotional body, and physical body, as well as from your soul, such as unresolved past life issues. As these blocks are broken down and processed, emotional traumas stored in your organs and nervous system can be released, and your energy field becomes more spacious. This creates room for an increase of spiritual light. As a result, you feel clearer about who you are and why you are here, and others see more clearly when they are in your field. You become more powerful. Your energy field continues to clear itself, attracting more spiritual light, becoming more visible beyond physical limits. Others can be supported by your light, even if they cannot see your physical body. You are growing as a light worker and helping humanity in increasing ways, whilst enjoying your own spiritual growth. You are opening to new consciousness now. With this comes new insight, awareness, and an awakening or deepening of your soul talents, such as healing, clairvoyance, channeling, or telepathy. Your channels are being cleared and activated. Rest, open up, and allow. Be patient and trust in your process. If emotional content arises and you are concerned you might be falling back into old habits, do not be afraid. Find ways to express what you are feeling through writing, therapy, dance, music, and art, sound, and conscious movement. Explore your personal expression to allow for spiritual expansion. This oracle brings an additional message from Spirit. Hold on, ascension can be a wild ride. Anything is possible. The past is not an indicator. The future is not set. This is the moment to cultivate your deepest feelings of spiritual love and peace. Simply allow the genius of life to flow through you in whatever way it chooses. During ascension, your life can change quite dramatically. The Rainbow Bridge empowers us to rise from one reality into another. Even if your outer world doesn't change radically, internally you will feel as though you are living a different life. Eventually, the physical world changes will follow. Enjoy crossing the Rainbow Bridge into new consciousness, dear one. You have everything you need. You are ready for this. It is meant to be. So I'm gonna hold up the invocation. If you would like to screenshot that, feel free, so you can say it later, but I'm gonna say it now for you and me, because I can always use more healing. So I call upon the unconditionally loving guidance that can assist me with mercy, grace, protection, and support through my ascension process. I accept this opportunity to grow spiritually and shift from one reality to a higher vibrational reality. I accept the opening of my chakras into a more loving consciousness. I accept the changes happening in me and in my life due to this spiritual growth. May I be held in tenderness and compassion as I release lower vibrational patterning and embody my authentic divinity. May the beings of unconditional love who assist the anchoring of a loving rainbow bridge of light upon this planet for the greatest good of all beings be empowered and invited to do so now. Through my own free will, so be it. So pile 3, that is where I'm going to leave your reading. Be sure to check out Kino's reading if you haven't. That will be linked down below. But that is where I'm going to leave your reading. So thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background while you do something else. That is one of the simplest and easiest ways to support me and my channel. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video, you can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already and click that little notification bell to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. You can also check out my merch as well as my social media, though do be aware that I have tons of scammers pretending to be me. So just know that I will not try to solicit a personal reading from you in your DMs, because I do not offer personal readings. But that is all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye! Hi there, pile 4. Welcome to your reading, and thank you so much for being here. If you guys chose the Spirit Quartz and this stack of Oracle cards, this is going to be your reading on why you came to Earth. So I'm just going to lay out these Oracle cards first before I sit down so I can make sure they're all on camera. But to start, we have Abundance. We have Time Out. These down, do these bigger ones first. We have Travel, Inner and Outer Journeys, Believe in Yourself, Big Shifts. We also have Elders, Spiritual Mentoring, Equality, Stability, Wisdom, Experience, Counsels. We have Whale and Orca Elders. Share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. And we also have Morning Dew, clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook. I'll fix those in a moment. We also have Living Library, as well as kindness. I'll just put this there. I think one of the virtues that this pile has is patience. If not, I hope you can develop a little bit as I fix this. Okay, and your last two cards are Birth and Expansion, as well as the Feminine Principle. Okay, let's fix your card over here. Okay, all right, we are good. Let me just get myself situated. Wow, okay. I want to start with your tarot card, pile 4, because I think it's a great one to have. This is the Empress card in this deck, and I definitely think that your life is one of abundance in many forms. And you might be looking at me right now and be like, Aso, what are you talking about? And I'm not just talking about monetary abundance. I'm talking about recognizing abundance in its many forms and the fact that we're connected to it and always have access to it. I actually think that you might experience a lot of different extremes this lifetime. Like, for example, extreme emotions or extreme elements of life. It may not be that extreme this lifetime, but at the very least, you have experienced a lot of lifetimes. You're definitely an old soul, and I think you've definitely experienced a lot of extremes within that. I feel like with this abundance card, one of the things that you're learning in this lifetime is how to find the value in all of your experiences, not just the positive ones, but the more challenging ones as well. There's this quote that I'm thinking of that says it's easier to be grateful during a feast than in a famine. And I think that you are someone who is learning to find gratitude in all things and to also see the spiritual value and the spiritual wisdom in all elements of a cycle and in all aspects of life. This pile really gives me Uncle Iroh energy from Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you've never seen that show, you need to, because I definitely think that you are an Uncle Iroh type person, and that is definitely someone that you are evolving into. I can definitely see that the latter half of your life will definitely be comprised of a lot of mentorship. I feel like this is a lifetime of a lot of spiritual growth, and I think that you're going to help a lot of other people grow spiritually as well. You may travel a lot of different places as well. You may move to a country that is very different from the one you were born into, so that could be an example of extremes, where you experience one type of culture and then move to another. You could travel all over the world or be a bit nomadic, but I also think that this is about like inner travel and spiritual travel as well. I think you're really tapped into your soul essence. You might even be able to travel to different dimensions that you're currently incarnated in. Like, you might be like, while you're in this lifetime, you might be able to contact yourself or like contact yourself in other dimensions or other realities, or be able to travel to and from former lifetimes or future lifetimes. I feel like your etheric body is very active, and I wouldn't be shocked if you visit a lot of people in their dreams. I wouldn't be shocked if you're very good at astral projection, and I wouldn't be shocked if you have very intense dreams as well, where you travel a lot or seem to go to different dimensions. I feel like you are a very adventurous spirit, and I think that definitely will translate into your physical reality as well, where you might be a very adventurous person. You might like to travel a lot, and I think you will get a lot out of traveling, whether it is internally or externally. I do feel like you're the type of person who can connect to lots of different people, and I feel like you will go through many different powerful shifts in your life. And I also think that you'll be the type of person that really impacts the people that you meet, even if it's for a quick period of time. Like, this is also giving me Nanny McPhee energy. Like, what does she say in that movie? When you need me but don't want me, I'll be here. But when you want me and no longer need me, I'll be gone. And I feel like that is definitely kind of reminiscent of your energy. I feel like sometimes people may not appreciate the value of your energy when you're around, but when you move on to your next path in life or your next phase in life, people are going to be like, wow, I really miss pile 4. I really miss the energy they had in my life. I even feel like there may be people or like past friendships or things like that where maybe you were taken for granted or just not treated the best. And I feel like those are going to be powerful experiences, not only for you, because you're going to learn a lot about what kind of treatment you do deserve and the types of friends you do deserve to have in your life, but also I feel like the people that take you for granted are going to have powerful lessons in, oh wow, I can't believe I took pile 4 for granted. I can't believe I treated them like they were expendable or like an option. I feel like some people are going to have to learn the hard way, like just how special your soul is and just how special it is to have a connection with you. But I also feel like you're not the type of person to feel like you have to prove yourself or prove your worth. Like, you just are who you are. And I feel like just as you get older, it's going to be easier for you to be discerning with your energy and discerning with people, so that you don't share your energy with people who don't appreciate it. I feel like rather than feeling like you need to help every person you meet, I think you're just going to naturally align with people that bring more to your life, that bring more abundance to your life. I like, abundance is definitely a key word here, where I feel like you're going to have an abundance of loving connections in your life, an abundance of experiences that bring you a lot of spiritual value. I wouldn't be shocked too if you even go on certain spiritual retreats or travel to different places that maybe you've never been to in this lifetime, but you have visited in previous lifetimes. I also think with this living library card, like, you're going to learn so much just through your experiences this lifetime that will help you mentor others, but also just help your soul become even more wise, even more evolved. And I think the beautiful thing about your essence, period, is your kindness. Like, I feel like you are someone who treats others the way you want to be treated. And I think that even if you are being treated poorly or someone isn't, just treating you right, I feel like you won't stoop to their level and be like, man, like, screw you. And like, maybe when you were younger and like less mature, but I feel like as you get older, you just realize the value of kindness, and you're the type of person to recognize that you would rather kill someone with kindness than stoop to their level and be unkind. I also just want to mention that you are an incredibly creative person, and your creations hold a lot of value. Music specifically could be really important to you, as well as your voice. I think that sharing your voice is incredibly important, and I think whatever you're passionate about creatively is something that will be very important for you in your lifetime, not only because like your creations are valuable and they can help, and your creations can help other people and also inspire other people, but I also think they're very nourishing to your soul and very important for your expression. I feel like no matter what you go through this lifetime, you're never going to be stuck in one place or in one position. I feel very called to say, like, there's no such thing as like a life-ruining decision for you, because there's always an opportunity for a fresh start. With a morning dew, clarity, a fresh start, a positive outlook, I feel like even though you may get bogged down at times, like we all do, I feel like you're the type of person to not let that stop you. And I feel like if you're ever really afraid of taking like a risk or making a decision that seems really risky, I feel like you're really being encouraged to go for it. Because even if at times like you are pushed to extremes where like maybe every month you're making like you're just breaking even, or at times you're even in the red, I feel like those risks that you take will also reap amazing rewards, where like you might experience two complete opposites of like the financial spectrum, or you might experience two complete opposites of living. Like for example, for a couple years you might live a very opulent lifestyle and then realize it doesn't really align with you anymore, and then you might go off to some hermitage and like live a very humble lifestyle that's very simple and things like that. Like I feel like no matter what, I think that you're not going to settle for one type of lifestyle. And even if you do have a family and things like that, I feel like your family is going to be very things are going to constantly be shifting. I feel like this also gives me vibes of like, you know, if you do have a family, you might move to a different country because you want for example, if you have children, you might want them to experience a different culture, or maybe you move back to a place that you grew up in because you want your children to experience different cultures. I also feel like if you have, if there are any cultures that you were born into that are very special to you, I do feel like one part of your purpose is to uphold the things that you were taught by your elders and share them with your children and your children's children. I think you also play an important role in preserving cultural traditions that you were born into and sharing them with the world, and just showing the value of, you know, your ancestors and what they brought to this world. I feel like you have a very special role in honoring the past, the present, and the future of humanity and the earth. I feel like because you are also an old soul, you have an incredible amount of patience. And I feel like one thing that people might tell you, which I'm going to say right now is bullshit and to not listen to them, is that people might say you're too nice. And I fucking hate that term so much. Like, I want to be very mean about that term. Like, I wish we could just, I don't like that. It makes me feel angry. Which is not very nice, is it? But it's because I feel like you shouldn't have to be angry or forceful to prove your point. I feel like one of the beautiful things about your soul and about you is the fact that you don't have to be mean to prove your point, and that you don't have to be forceful or like aggressive to make yourself heard. In fact, I feel like part of your power is in, rather than raising your voice, giving people the opportunity to quiet down so they can hear you. I almost feel like you're almost like a human intuition in the sense, like I say a lot in my videos, anxiety screams, intuition whispers, and I almost feel like you're not invested in who hears your message. You're just going to give the message, and whoever understands it, they do, and whoever doesn't, and you're just very accepting of that. Like, once again, this just gives me very much Uncle Iroh vibes, because obviously Zuko is like very hot-headed and doesn't listen to his uncle and doesn't listen to what he tells him, and his uncle doesn't stop loving him. Uncle Iroh doesn't stop supporting Zuko, but he also doesn't force Zuko to see things from his point of view. He doesn't force Zuko to recognize what he's trying to show him. And it takes Zuko a lot of growth and a lot of tough lessons in order to see the value in what his uncle is saying. And I feel like you might play a really important role, especially when you get older, as being that wise elder, which I honestly feel like no matter how old you are, you're already spitting words of wisdom, whether it's just to your friends or your family. But I feel like people might often come back and tell you, oh, you were right about this, or you were right about that. Like, you have a lot of wisdom within you, and you're incredibly intuitive. And I feel like you are someone who can accomplish you can accomplish the unthinkable by listening to your intuition. And it's precisely because you're not thinking about it, you're following your intuition, that you are able to do these incredible things. I also think that you are here to help humanity heal at this time its relationship with the feminine principle and feminine energy in general. Right now, I feel like society as a whole is operating in a lot of distorted masculine energy, where things are around grinding and hustling and pushing yourself to extremes. And you might at times even fall into that. Like maybe you start out in this world as someone who is very like regimented and organized, and you might push yourself to physical extremes or mental extremes in order to accomplish things. And it might take some experiences of like extreme burnout for you to realize that like this way of living is not working for you. And that doesn't mean you let go of the masculine principle at all, but instead you learn how to shift your perspective to use your masculine energy to support your feminine energy. So like an example of that would be like I said, you're clearly a very creative person, and your masculine energy might want to say, okay, I want you to create this, this, and this by this timeline. And your feminine energy is sitting there like, whoa, we can't rush a masterpiece. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. And your body might be saying, listen, I need to take a break, or I need to rest. And so your masculine energy, rather than pushing you to the brink, might say, okay, whoa, hey self, I think now would be wise to maybe stop what we're doing for tonight, make sure we eat, make sure we rest, and then see how we're feeling tomorrow, and then we can get back to it. I feel like you're learning how to come into balance with your feminine and masculine aspects and help them both support the person that you are and support the things that you want to accomplish, rather than using them to be more destructive towards yourself. I also feel like you're an incredibly deep person, and one of the things that you will find is that the most special connections you make are the ones that can dive deep with you, the people that can have heart-to-heart conversations with you, the people that can see the value in your perspective. You might find that you feel lonely at times because a lot of people are more focused on the surface level of things and are only focused on more egoic things. And I think one of the really cool things about you is that you're going to I feel like a lot of your friends are going to be in different corners of the planet. Like you might have a lot of friends internationally or meet people. Like you might be that type of person to walk into like a pub one day in a random country and make a deep connection with a person just through a conversation, and they end up being your friend for a lifetime or something like that. Like I feel like you are someone who really resonates with the right types of people. And even though not everyone may understand you, the right people do. And you will be able to attract and keep the connections in your life that are nourishing to who you are, and they're going to really help you have faith in humanity and have faith in the idea that your perspective matters and that being a more gentle and kind soul is so important. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's so much value in every aspect of your life this lifetime. Like I don't feel like there's one specific reason why you're here. I think that there are so many valuable reasons why you're here. I feel like you're here to share your creations with the world and also experience human creativity and what being creative with free will can accomplish. I also feel like you're here to not only create certain things, but to expand upon concepts that have already existed. I feel like you're here maybe too to expand upon work you've done in past lives. Like, for example, maybe you have, if you have a really strong ancestral line, for example, you might have incarnated as your great-great-great-grandmother or grandfather, and now you're coming back in to do more work with this specific line and heal that line or something like that. I feel like you are just someone who, I just love your energy and your soul so much. I feel like you're the type of person who, like I said earlier, can find the value in the famine the same way you find value in the feast and be grateful for both. I really want to read this timeout card, and I do also want to mention there's like so much divinely feminine energy here, like 32. So 3 is the same number as the Empress, 2 is the number of the High Priestess. We also have the feminine principle, birth and expansion. This card actually talks about both feminine and masculine principles, which I do feel like you have a balance of both, but I would say in this lifetime you're more focused on embracing feminine energy, especially in the sense of like learning how to live from feminine principles. Not about like, and I'm not talking about like gender roles or anything like that. I'm talking about like yin energy, essentially. So learning to trust the cycles of nature, learning to trust the cycles of your body instead of forcing yourself to certain time constraints, allowing the flow of energy and the flow of life to guide you. It's like, it always makes me think of the example of a surfer. Like, rather than sitting out in the ocean and being like, oh, this wave is never going to come, or if I don't paddle myself to shore, I won't get there, and like kind of stressing yourself out, rather than doing that, you're just kind of sitting out there enjoying the vibe of the ocean, enjoying the flow of the waves, and you're waiting for the right wave to carry you to shore so that you don't have to expend all your energy paddling there. It's like pretty much unnecessary. Like, you can just allow yourself to get there. It also makes me think of the Magic Conch episode of SpongeBob. You should definitely watch that episode if you've never checked it out, but I feel like it exemplifies the concept of like trusting your intuition and trusting spirit. This is spirit quartz, and I do think you have a very deep spiritual connection, and I think your connection to spirit and unconditional love and the spirit world and things like that are going to be a really rich source of creative inspiration for you. And it's also going to be what keeps your integrity intact and gives you a clarity of purpose and a I feel like your spiritual connection is your backbone to everything that you create and do in the material world. Like, nothing is ever random with you. Even if it seems random from the outside or it feels random to you, I feel like you're so in tune with your higher self and with this, like, the spirit world as a whole, that you might feel like the things you are doing are random, but you might be blown away with how many synchronicities there are in what you're creating, or how divinely timed things are. Like, you might be trying to go on a trip and it seems like things get thwarted left and right, and then finally things fall into place, and then you meet the exact right people and you have the exact right experiences to learn XYZ. Like, I just feel like you're so supported in this lifetime. And the thing I wanted to say about the Magic Conch episode is just that the whole episode, SpongeBob and Patrick are listening to this Magic Conch, and Squidward's being a hater. He's like, I can't believe you're taking advice from a Magic Conch, and he's like, being a hater, and he stresses himself out and pretty much goes crazy the entire episode because SpongeBob and Patrick are literally like doing nothing, just trusting the Magic Conch, and they like get this feast while they're stuck out in the middle of nowhere in a kelp forest. Meanwhile, Squidward is stressed out and all haggard and stuff because he's been so focused on finding shelter, finding water, doing all that stuff. And meanwhile, SpongeBob and Patrick just listened to the Magic Conch that told them to do nothing, and then all of a sudden a feast comes out of thin air because it fell out of a plane. Like, watch that episode, I'm telling you. And Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's not a suggestion, it's a requirement. It will help you understand yourself. And I think that when, like, there's so much value to all of your experiences in life. Like, your upbringing, for example, I feel like you will have a lot of foundational experiences that will support the person you're becoming. I also feel like you'll have a lot of important experiences as a child and as a young person about the type of adult you don't want to be and the type of experiences you don't want to give children. Like, I feel like you'll remember the experiences you had where adults made you feel disempowered, unheard, or just not great. And I feel like you're gonna be that support system that the younger you didn't have, and really see the light and the value in children that maybe other people don't recognize. Like, I'm thinking of the quote, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it'll live its whole life thinking it's stupid. Rather than being another one of those adults that shames the fish, you're like, dude, this is a fish. You can't force it to climb a tree. It's not going to do that. Like, I feel like you will see people's strengths and recognize where their energies and talents could best be focused and directed towards. I feel like you're going to be an excellent guide for others. And I also just think that you're going to see people in a way that I feel like will be very healing to them. Like, most people, I feel like a lot of people, are used to either being overlooked or only being seen for certain aspects of themselves. And I feel like you're going to see through a lot of the illusions of ego and see people at their soul essence. And I feel like even when you don't realize it, you might tell people the exact thing they need to hear in order to follow a dream of theirs or take a risk or try something different than what they were taught. I feel like you're going to be someone who is living proof of living by their principles and living by what feels right to them. I feel like you're going to be someone who says, if I had done what society told me, then I wouldn't have accomplished this or I wouldn't have achieved that. Like, you're a living example of like the proof is in the pudding, because the way that you living with integrity and living towards what you feel is right, like you are going to show like physical proof of like the value of that. Like you're going to have evidence and proof of why living the ways in which you have bring value to this world and why there's no one way of doing things. I also want to read this timeout card because I feel like it might be helpful. Stop racing around the clock. Step outside and feel the magic and oneness of nature. Time out. If you've picked this card, Spirit is calling for you to slow down. Take some time out of your busy schedule and the hustle and bustle of your everyday life. Chasing the clock and getting yourself all caught up in the illusion of time has been taking its toll on you, dear one. For so long, you have been at war with time with statements like, I just don't have enough time. Spirit understands your hunger and desire to evolve as a soul and can see the blockages that stop you from exploring further. You see, the universe grants your wish on a daily basis by ensuring you don't have time. Your words hold so much power and as such should be used wisely. Feeling as though you don't have time can leave you irritable, anxious, and drained. Recharge your body, mind, and soul. Step away from the stress of the ticking clock. Step outside the natural world, smell the flowers, enjoy the sunset, and breathe in nature's beauty. Disconnect from the phone, computer, and TV and connect to nature's rhythmic cycles. Ground yourself by feeling the grass under your feet. This is the best way to unwind and renew your energy resources. By having this time out to unwind and reconnect with the oneness of nature, you will feel refreshed and renewed to continue your work with inner calm and peace. You'll find that by doing this, the answers that you seek will come and clarity and understanding will be achieved. And the affirmation is, I am alive to nature's magic as I dissolve in the oneness of all that is. So I feel like as you get older, you'll learn to trust in your own cycles and the cycles of life more. But you might find that one of the extremes that you experience this lifetime is one where, like I said earlier, you are very regimented, you are very focused on getting things done and doing a whole lot. And I do feel like part of that is because you have a lot, especially when you're younger, you'll have just a lot of creative energy and a lot to share. But I think you'll realize that in your pursuit of success or in your pursuit of creation, that at times you miss out on the beauty of what's already been created, especially by the earth, and just the beauty in the moments and the joy in the process of creation. Like literally, I can call myself out for this. I was literally thinking about this reading and like being like, oh, I just need to get it done. I just need to do this. I just need to do that. And I'm like, I had to call myself out and be like, Madison, it's not about getting it done. It's about enjoying the process of sharing these messages and being able to sit in the energies and spend time with you guys and create. Like, this is not a task. This is a beautiful process. And like, I don't ever want to miss out on that because I'm so focused on just getting things done. And I think we're all really guilty of doing that at times. And so I feel like this concept of abundance is going to be something that you come back to all the time, because you just realize like, oh, I guess I've been wishing things away in this way or that way. And like, for example, if you ever have a family, or if you already do have a family and like you end up being a parent or something like that, you know, you might want to wish away certain parts of raising kids, and then find later, oh, I wish I would have appreciated that stage more. Or, you know, you might be like a new parent or something, and then people are like, oh, well, just wait till they get to this age. Like, I feel like you'll also just recognize all the negativity around different stages of life. And I feel like the older you get, the more you'll realize like just how precious every moment is, and how there's pros and cons to every stage, and that we shouldn't wish away the present in order to reach some specific goal in the future, because we'll get there and then realize that we didn't appreciate what we had. But I also feel like you're an important refuge for a lot of people, in the sense that I feel like because you are so connected to your spiritual self and your spiritual truths, whether which for some of you, you might find you're less connected to them when you're younger, and just as you get older, you're more connected to them. But I think for a lot of you, you've always had this sort of spiritual wisdom within you. I feel like you will be a refuge for other people who don't have much spiritual support in their life. I feel like you will be a beautiful source of wisdom and of relief to people that are feeling really bogged down by more egoic consciousness, or by concepts or rules that don't align with the way that they're living. I feel like you also, especially if you travel a lot or you experience a lot of different cultures, I feel like you'll be able to soothe people when it comes to like different ways of living, where you might be able to say, yeah, where we live right now, it might be more societally accepted to live in this way, but I also have lived here, or I've read about this culture and they live in this way and they do things this way, and you could add this element to your life in XYZ, or even just teaching people that they don't have to force themselves to particular timelines. Like, I talk about this all the time, that I don't like talking about timing, because, for example, divine timing is not a date on the calendar. It's created every day through our actions and through our choices, and it's something that can be closer or further depending on how we act and what we do. And so I feel like you're learning about the value of just not trying to control outcomes, not trying to control timelines, not trying to control how things happen, but instead just following your inner rhythms, following the cycles of the earth, following the flow of what's right to you, and also not ignoring your inner wisdom to satisfy your ego or satisfy the expectations of other people. I also feel like you're a much needed source of positivity for people. I feel like, especially now, there's just so much negativity everywhere, and I feel like you are going to be a really necessary source of positivity when people are getting bogged down by all the negative information that is everywhere. And I also feel like as well, you might be a really important source of positivity for the people that you end up mentoring, and helping them see the good in themselves, the value in who they naturally are, and helping them recognize that, sure, not everyone may accept them, but you accept them and you see their value and you see their light. And I feel like you may underestimate the value of your perspective, the value of your support, the value of your kind words. I feel like you have an especially strong throat chakra. I almost said throng throat chakra, but that's not right. But I also feel like you have a silliness to you and a lightness to you that, like, as you get older, you'll be able to just laugh at things more and not take things so seriously, and just go with the flow of life and not be too focused on having things happen the way you want them to. You might even find that, like, at certain points in your life, you get really stuck in ego without even realizing it, and then the veil is suddenly lifted and you have to almost laugh at how seriously you were taking things. But I feel like the most beautiful thing about you, Pile 4, is just your heart. And I feel like your creations are so special. Whatever creative outlets you have, whether they are something that you do as a job or just something you do to help yourself or something that you do to share with the world, like, I think all of your creations are valuable, and it is never a waste of time to do things that bring you joy, especially if they are creative in nature. All of your experiences hold value, and I feel like no matter where you go next or whatever you do next incarnation, or whether you choose to be a guide or something like that, I really don't think it matters, because ultimately I feel like this lifetime is an opportunity for you to implement the wisdom your soul has already gained, and also give yourself and your human self the freedom to experience free will in alignment with divine will, and see how those things flow together, and recognize the secrets hidden in plain sight. about the universe, especially when it comes to abundance. Like, I feel like you have access to infinite abundance, and the more you are connected to your higher self and more connected to unconditional love, the easier it will be for you to let go of the how, let go of the when, and trust the cycles of things, and trust that you'll be carried exactly to the people, the experiences, and the resources you need in order to accomplish whatever your heart is asking you to. I also feel like you could have a really special connection to the ocean or aquatic animals. You might end up living near an ocean, or maybe even one of the ways in which you travel is by sea. So I do feel like you have a lot of special experiences, and I think that everything that you do holds value. So you can never I just heard Peace Corps. So for some of you maybe thinking about like joining the Peace Corps and like wondering if that's something you should do, I would say yeah, if it just came through. But I feel like no matter what, you know, like for example, if you're thinking about school and you want to take a gap year, like whatever feels right to you, do it. I feel like there's no right or wrongs. There's just opportunities, and everything is leading you closer to yourself. I also feel like when it comes to outer travel or exploring your environment and exploring the world, like there's really no right or wrongs. But I think the best thing that you can do is be connected to your inner self and trust your inner guidance, because that will make the most out of the adventures you do have in the external world. Like, I feel like the more you're connected to your higher self and connected to your soul, the more meaning all of your outer experiences will have. So rather than traveling and being like, oh, is traveling just a waste of time? Like, am I just ignoring reality or ignoring what I need to do? Rather than being stuck in your head and questioning what you want to do, when you're connected to your soul essence, you can say, I don't need to know the full reason I'm traveling. All I know is that I feel called to it. And there's so many skills that you gain through traveling, like problem solving, learning different languages, learning new cultures, meeting different people, learning to connect with different people, even if you do speak different languages. Like, there's so much value in traveling. There's so much value in all of your experiences. And I feel like this is less about finding the right things to do and just instead focusing on the things that feel right to you and are enjoyable. It's less about accomplishing one thing or doing this or that. It's just about living a life that is authentically aligned with you. And when it no longer is aligned, giving yourself the space and the freedom to follow what does. I feel like this is not about holding yourself to rigid expectations and rigid ideas of how a human should be or how we should experience our lives, and instead just seeing the value in all that there is and recognizing that you can't fuck this up. Like, this is just all about experiencing and growing and evolving and being kind to yourself and others in the process. And I feel like when you look back on your life, you're just going to be really happy that you chose to live your life the way you did and chose to take the road less traveled or take the roads that felt right to you, because you won't regret living a life that felt aligned with you, but you would definitely regret living a life that you thought you should live, or living a life that other people thought you should live, because they don't know you the way you know yourself. And I feel like you are going to be a very important resource, especially in the future, to other people who, like you, may want to live a very different life or may want to try different things, or who feel like people don't see their gifts or the value that they bring. You'll see that, and you'll be able to cultivate and nurture those qualities, not only within yourself, but within them as well, and show them that they don't have to live life a certain way. They don't have to go into STEM if they're not passionate about STEM. STEM is great. If you're passionate about STEM, go into STEM, but like, STEM is not everything. It's okay to major in humanities. It's okay to not go to college. It's okay to do whatever you want to do. It's okay to do whatever feels right to you. I feel like one of the main points of your lifetime here is to be a living expression of the fact that there's no one way to live your life. There is no right way to live your life. The best thing you can do is live a life that feels right to you, and live a life that feels good to you, and inspire others to do the same, so that they don't waste their precious existence on a life that makes them miserable. And I also think that you are just a beautiful, beautiful refuge for so many people, to show them that even if they have been living a miserable existence, or an existence not aligned with them, that they can always change that, and that the power of choice is something we all have. And even if we don't know how things will turn out, when things will shift, or what we need to do, when we follow our internal guidance and trust in those inner nudges, we'll be led exactly where we need to go. You are also going to be a living example of the fact that you will be supported when you serve the Mother Earth, the planet, humanity, and yourself. Service is always rewarded, and life is a gift. And I feel like you're using your life to create. You're using your gifts to share with the world. You're using your creation for valuable things. Like, you're using your body, you're using your resources wisely. Like, I feel like you should not have any shame in how you're living. And if someone or something makes you feel ashamed for the person that you are, and the person that you're becoming, or the person that you want to be, like, that's just something not aligned with you, and you don't have to take that to heart. Like, especially stuff online that makes you feel like you should be ashamed, or that if you're a woman you have to live life this way, or if you're a man you need to live life that way, or blah blah, whatever the hell that's making you feel like you're invalid because you're not living life a certain way that someone else thinks. You're not them, and you don't have to trust their perspective. Like, your perspective matters. And I think the older you get, the more you'll realize, like, just how, I feel like you'll just be more satisfied with the fact that you didn't trust other people's words, and other people's shame, and other people's judgments, and other people's projections over the truths of your soul and the truths of your heart, because you'll realize that those people were just pretending that they weren't lost, and projecting their own insecurities and their own shame out onto the human collective. And I think that you are and will continue to be a very beautiful example of the type of human that does not tell other people how to live, but instead lives in the way that feels right to themselves, and gives other people the room and the space and the freedom to figure out what feels right for them. And I just feel like that is a very beautiful thing. You are a very beautiful human being, a very beautiful soul, and there is no right or wrongs here. And the more you honor just what is true to you, the more you will enjoy this process of self-discovery and inner discovery, outer discovery. And I feel like your life this time around is going to be a beautiful love letter to yin energy in general. I also think it's going to be you're just an amazing expression of a human being. Like, your creations matter, your perspective matters, your words matter, your voice matters. And especially if you do things like with music, or just with sharing your creations and your voice in any way, never discount the value of that. And just know that by sharing parts of yourself, and sharing your creativity, and sharing your perspective, and sharing your voice, you're actively making the world a better place. And you have no idea how many people you may be empowering and inspiring to do the same. So please continue to keep doing that. And thank you for not letting the meanness of the world take your kindness away. It is so powerful what you do, and your positive perspective and your light is something that just makes the world a better place. And there's no one reason why you're here. There's many different reasons why you're here. You're serving many different purposes all at once, and everything that you do, even rest, is productive. And you shouldn't even judge things based on productivity, but if you are judging things on productivity, just know that, like, even what society may deem as unproductive is productive for you. Like, there will be times where you may need to take a year off from working, or take a long time off from creating, just so that you can just be a human, or just nurture yourself. And, like, that's okay. The more you evolve, and the more you just trust yourself, the easier it will be for you to follow your own cycles and the cycles of life. But I feel like the biggest thing I have to say is, like, don't let the loud opinions of the outside world stop you from listening to those powerful inner nudges, because those inner nudges have far more wisdom in them than the loud shaming voices of the fearful collective. So now I'm going to go ahead and get some channeled messages from your star family and from your spiritual team, and just see what they want you to know. So, pile fours, star family, and spiritual team, what messages do you have for pile four at this time? What do you want them to know? You have a sensitive antenna. Sensitive people collect the emotions of others. So I think one thing that you should know as well is sometimes you might pick up on the emotions or the energies of other people and take them on as your own. And I feel like Spirit is really asking you to pay attention to when you feel bogged down or really negative or just really crotchety, because I feel like that's not your natural essence. And when you're in those energies, I feel like that's a sign you need to take time to yourself and kind of look within, and first of all, when you feel negative energies, ask yourself if they're yours, and if they're not, just ask that they be returned to the sender, whoever sent them. And also, you know, if you are just feeling really negative and really grumpy, I feel like that's an important sign to stop pushing yourself harder and instead be kind to yourself and give yourself time and space to rest and be nourished in whatever ways are most nourishing for you. So whether that is, you know, taking a social media cleanse, or taking a week off to travel and go to a new place, or just spend time with your loved ones, like whatever it is for you, I feel like you need to give yourself permission to do that, because your role on earth is really important, and you can't serve your role if you're bogged down by negativity. So what else does pile 4 need to know? It is safe to let go. You are surrounded by love. And I love this as well, because 4 and 1 they remind me of the two masculine energies in tarot that are the Magician and the Emperor. I feel like you are really protected by Spirit, and I feel like you can trust yourself to know when it is time to make a right decision. And I feel like when you don't know what decision to make or what to do, you're allowed to do nothing. You're allowed to wait until the wave comes. You're allowed to wait until inspiration comes. I feel like life for you is a lot about inspired action rather than chaotically just trying to make something out of nothing when you got nothing. It's like waiting until you have something to act on, something to lead from. I feel like you can trust inspiration to be your guide and passion to be your guide, and to tell you when it's time to take action. You know, it's like, for example, if you want to travel but you have no idea where you want to go and nothing is really exciting you, maybe you should wait until you find a place, or the name of a place or an experience finds you where you're like, yes, I really want to do that. And then you find you're really glad that you waited, because actually plane tickets are like extra cheap right now, or someone else is going on this trip. Like, I feel like the universe always has your back, and you don't need to try and figure things out. When you don't know when it's time to do something, I feel like the universe is saying you don't have to force yourself to take action prematurely. Wait for the inspiration to guide you, and wait for your intuition to guide you. You'll know exactly when it is time to take action or to do something. And in the meantime, just focus on nourishing yourself and finding joyful experiences in your present and enjoying things for what they are now, because things are constantly shifting and evolving. And I feel like you'll find meaning and joy in anything that you do. So it's almost like like I said, you really can't mess this up. You can trust yourself. But what else does pile 4 need to know? Let go of a fixed plan. Allow for spontaneity and growth. Yes, exactly. I feel like this is so much about letting yourself, you're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to go a different direction. You're allowed to try different things. And I feel like Spirit is saying you don't need to hold on to a fixed plan. You don't need to hold on to a certain way of being. The right path for you may not be open yet. And so it's almost like you may need to give yourself that flexibility to try different things and just wait for the right things to happen. I love that, though. This is all about working with divine will and your own free will in order to have like just the best life possible. And I feel like the universe is saying you don't have to hold yourself to a 5-year plan. You don't have to hold yourself to a plan of someone else. You can do what feels right to you. Like, not everyone has the same goals or wants to live life the same way. So don't expect yourself to live according to someone else's rules and be happy about it. Like, it's just not going to be what's right for you. All right. spend time on you and balance yourself. And on the back of the deck, we have feel and release. Release all you've accumulated on this journey. So I also feel like Spirit is saying, you know, there may be times where you kind of go into hermit mode and really need to disappear. And I feel like Spirit is saying that that is okay. And also it's important. I feel like at times, you know, especially if you are especially sensitive to energy, it'll be important for you to take time to yourself and really get in touch with who you are now and your soul essence, so that when you are engaging with the world, when you are working with life and working with the outer realms, you're not getting lost in what's out there, but instead you're making decisions based upon what's most aligned with you. And you know, you are a very generous person and a very kind person, so at times you might be so focused on other people you forget yourself. And so I feel like Spirit is saying, don't forget how important it is to nourish yourself and nurture yourself, because you can't give from an empty cup. But what else does pile? I think another pile got this as well. Blue flame. Connect to the blue flame, which is the light of pure love within you. Okay. We also have light. It is a time to reveal your radiant light to the world. And we also have courage. Live your life fearlessly and with courage, strength, and determination. Yeah, it really takes a lot of courage to live a life authentically, that is authentically aligned with yourself, rather than living the life that people think you should live. Take some big spiritual balls, so you should be proud of yourself. We also have guidance. You are not alone. You are guided by the masters and teachers of the highest realms. And on the back of the deck, we have love. Live your truth and share the love that is in your soul. So yeah, I definitely think that you're going to have a lot of powerful spiritual experiences, and I feel like you might find like mentors on your journey and guides on your journey that will in turn help you when it's your turn to be like in the mentorship role and to be in that guide role. But you're just so amazing, pile 4. I love this energy so much. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this reading off with a guidance card from the Lightworker Oracle. So I just want to see, Spirit, what do you want to finish pile 4 off? What guidance could be most beneficial for them at this time, please? We have the Key of Light, which has Archangel Michael in it, which I love. But let's go ahead and see what Archangel Michael wants you to know. Oh, that's the wrong one. 26. Archangel Michael loves you unconditionally and serves your journey. He brings you a spiritual gift now, the Key of Light. This key allows you to open any door, clear away any obstruction, and free yourself from any prison or enslavement, physical, emotional, or psychological. There is no need for you to feel trapped or locked out of a situation you want to get into. You hold now within your hands a divine key that will assist you in many ways. Archangel Michael has a message for you. You have the power of the divine in you. You have the ability to free yourself, no matter whether it seems that another person, a set of circumstances, or the entire world holds more power than you. Your power of freedom is unconditional. It doesn't require that outer circumstances change in order for you to be free. Though as you choose freedom, outer circumstances often change radically. For now, to be free, use the Key of Light. This means staying true to what you know for yourself. Gently and lovingly assert your truth now. Do not cave in to naysayers and fear generators. Most especially, do not collapse under your old fears or doubts. Gently and persistently, cleaving to the light within will bring you through any apparent obstacle, free you from any apparent prison, and ensure your divine destiny is fulfilled. All doors shall be open to you. You are being given a gift of unconditional grace. Step back and radiate love from your center. That is your way. You do not have to betray your spirituality to fight. You can fight with love and trust you can fight with love and trust, and that can be your way as a spiritual warrior. In each moment you choose love and trust, you are fighting the good fight. You are learning that love is expressed in no as much as in yes. For when you fight against those who want you to deny the truth, you are standing clear and strong in loving truth. Michael helps you realize the strength that you already have within you to do this. This oracle is a message for you to trust in your own ability to triumph right now. You are the key to success. You must believe in yourself. You don't have to force the door open. In perfect time, according to divine grace, all doors will open for you. Your dreams and actions will prove themselves in time. No person, place, or thing has any power to hold you back. The key of light is spiritual permission from the universe to succeed in your life mission. You shall not be kept back from your divine destiny. You shall be empowered to succeed. Refuse to give up on your dreams. This may mean freeing yourself from situations or relationships that have enslaved or controlled you. When you're ready, this can be done with great gentleness, compassion, and strength. Free yourself with love, not fear. You may need to lock doors to the past behind you. With divine empowerment, you can completely and utterly allow the past to be over. You will find that new doors can then be unlocked for you. So I'm going to say this invocation with you, but if you want to like screenshot it and hold on to it for yourself, feel free. But I'm just going to say it really quickly to finish off. I call upon Archangel Michael and the key of light. I give thanks for the divine gift of liberation from any restraining circumstance. I give thanks for the opportunity to completely close any door I choose and open any door I choose. I am grateful to the loving encouragement of the universe, reminding me that I will be successful in fulfilling my divine life purpose. May I be assisted by unconditional love to use my power of freedom with wisdom. May all beings be blessed by grace of the divine, so that the past ceases to hold them in pain and new opportunities of love can be accepted. May humanity open the door to light and love within. Through my own free will and the unconditionally loving guides that serve human evolution, so be it. Oh, this was such a beautiful, beautiful pile to finish off on. Thank you so much for blessing me with your presence, Pile 4, and thank you so much for being here on this planet at this time. This is where I'm going to leave this reading, so thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for letting my ads play in the background while you do something else, especially during this month. That is so helpful to me and a great way to show me support and appreciation for what I do. But if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can like this video if you enjoyed it. You can comment down below, let me know how it resonates. You can subscribe if you haven't already and click that little bell notification to be notified whenever I upload a new reading. If you want me to see your comment, I will most likely see it when I first upload. That is usually when I respond. You can also check out my social media, which is linked down below, and you can check out my merch. And also just know with my social media that there are tons of scammers that pretend to be me, so just know I don't offer personal readings, and if someone slides in your DMs pretending to be me, offering you a personal reading, it's not me, it's a scammer. But that's all I have for you guys, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope this reading resonated. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night whenever it is that you're watching this video, and I hope you'll come back and see me again soon. Bye!